caution. And while during commercial break, yes, that is the defending champion, Jack Sprague. He was one of many in a turn championship. BP, take us through it.
Let's see if we can see what happened right there. The 15 of Jeffrey Bodine gets a bump from Lyndon Amick, and meanwhile these guys have started backing off, and Steve Grissom, I guess, was the first guy to make serious contact. And the 24 car and the 3 car, I think Rick Crawford also was involved in the 14. Let's see. Here's Crawford coming the red truck. Bam! He hits the wall hard when he gets a blow from Jack Sprague. So it looks like 5 or 6 trucks involved.
And Benny, that's very, very hard. If you've been going down the freeway and the cars, 10 cars in front of you slow down, by the time it gets to you, there's just no way you can stop.
Lyndon Amick gets in the back of Jeffrey Bodine, and when he hits Jeffrey, he backs off, and Grissom then backs off, and the trucks behind them just cannot back off quickly enough. They run into Grissom, spin him, and once the first truck spins, it's on. And we've got a crash. This is a live shot. Randy Renfro almost goes over as he nails Bobby Hamilton.
Manages to get it under control.
Oh, we see the Kurt Busch get turned around when Bobby Hamilton backed off. Joe Ruttman ran in the back of him. Now watch this. These trucks almost get by, but Randy Renfro just gets clipped.
That's Randy Tolsma and also Marty Houston wrapped up in that. Don't know how much damage they had on their trucks. Let's go on board with Bobby Hamilton.
We're going to see Kurt Busch get turned sideways. And here's Hamilton. Watch Renfro. How about right here? Oh, man.
Kurt Busch in his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race barely made it through and made a nice save. He's still on the race course. Oh, wow.
I thought Renfro was going in for in down the front stretch.
That truck came very close to going over, Benny. But one thing that is promising with all the spinning, those trucks, that truck got up and brake, then let off the gas to slow that truck down. Jeff's staying up high going in the corner. He's not following the truck in front of him. Don't know what's going on there.
Whoa! Oh, look out! We got trouble. This is going to hurt.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yep.
Keep your fingers crossed.
And it was so good for so long, and it turned into so bad so quickly.
We'll be back to see what happened. And as I said, keep your fingers crossed, folks. We're at Daytona. We're back at Daytona International Speedway. We are under a red flag situation, and that truck that is upside down, we believe it to be the number 15 of Jeffrey Bodine. And this was a very serious crash.
And the race, as you see by the graphic, has in fact been red flagged because there's just too much attention has to be paid to these drivers involved, Jeffrey Bodine, and all the debris on the racetrack. There's just no way to bring those cars down. So
we also have some damage to the fencing area. In fact, it's right in this part of the tri-oval coming into view now, right there at the bottom of your screen. So this is going to be an extended red flag, and we are keeping our fingers crossed for all the drivers. The trucks have been stopped back before. There you see them lined up right before they would come into pit in. Drivers are staying in the trucks right now.
That's Lonnie Rush's vehicle, the Hastings Fielder truck, being towed back to the garage area.
Now we do have confirmation that the truck that was upside down was Jeffrey Bodine's. No report yet on his condition, and we will keep you posted and keep our fingers crossed. As we are under a red flag here at Daytona International Speedway. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. We're under a red flag condition here at Daytona International Speedway. We believe about 9 trucks were involved on the tri-oval incident that has brought out this red flag. The most serious involves Jeffrey Bodine. The truck literally came apart. The motor is about, oh, I'd say 250 feet from where the truck ended up on the infield grass, actually towards turn number 1. We can tell you the 31 is being towed back to the pit area. That's John Young. Lyndon Amick's 52 Penda Truck Accessories truck is also on the hook. The 46 Axiom Ford is also involved in this and on the back of a flatbed being pulled out. And you can see the safety crews from high above working to take care of Jeff and get him out of the truck. We believe that they have gotten him out. We have no report yet on his injuries, and we will certainly not speculate or say anything.
You're right, Marty. The truck just completely disintegrated when it made contact with that outside wall. Very reminiscent of Richard Petty's crash here, 1988, as he came off turn 4, made some contact, got up in the fence, and was so violently crashing down the front straightaway. That's what this crash reminded me of.
Well, when we build these trucks and cars, Benny, as anything with NASCAR, safety comes first. And even though the truck came apart a good bit, the main roll cage stayed intact.
So as the safety crews continue to work on Jeffrey Bodine, we'll take another break, and we'll be right back to Daytona International Speedway.
You know, Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, the whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with, they're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn.
Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend?
No.
Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad. No.
Back at Daytona International Speedway at the inaugural running of the Daytona 250, we are under a red flag situation after a 9-vehicle crash on the tri-oval involving Jeffrey Bodine and the most serious element of the crash. We're waiting for word from medical officials and NASCAR officials on Jeffrey's condition. We will certainly not speculate. It was a horrific crash. Now, this is just a few seconds ago. There, look at Jeff. He's moving his arms. That is the best news we could give you. He's moving that bag, and so Jeffrey is alert, at least, and conscious and able to move. I don't know about you guys, but I'm breathing a little bit better right now.
Well, me too. That was a horrific looking wreck, but what a testament to the safety of these vehicles. Unbelievable, isn't it, Benny?
I'm telling you, folks, this is just about as bad a crash in a stock car as you'll ever see in your life. The truck just disintegrated, pieces going every place, but the roll cage stayed intact. Where the driver sits stayed intact and bounced across the racetrack.
Now, we want to show you just how much it came apart. That is the motor, and there is the place where it ended up, and then this is about 250 to 300 feet back to where what's left of the truck. Now, there was contact with the catch fence, and that is the damage that is there. We do not know if there are any injuries to any spectators in the stands.
But obviously this fence will have to be repaired before NASCAR will allow these trucks to continue this race.
Meanwhile, all the other competitors, and you see another angle of the work being done on the catch fence and the tri-oval. The other competitors are stopped far from pit lane. No work allowed during a red flag situation. We're going to take another commercial break. We'll be back, and we'll try and get some more information. As soon as it is given to us, we'll pass it along to you here at Daytona. Back at Daytona International Speedway, we are under a red flag situation as we had a 10-truck crash now on the trioval. We've been able to confirm that. That is what is left of Jeffrey Bodine's Line-X Ford. And Ray, I have never seen a truck come apart that much, but look at the integrity of the cockpit area.
Well, that's one thing. NASCAR sends you rules. You have to build your NASCAR car or truck by those rules. And it's about 250 feet of round steel tubing that cage is made out of. And that's what you start with, the middle of that car. That's the most important part. With NASCAR racing, driver safety is first.
And the thickness of the metal, it also has to be a certain thickness. You just can't use thin wall tubing. It has to be a certain thickness, and the integrity has to be able to stand something like this. So thank goodness that they do send out those rules and make sure that these mechanics like Ray Evernham use that thick tubing.
We've built quite a few of those things, Benny.
Let's show you who was involved in this crash. Of course, we're keeping our attention on Jeffrey Bodine. Amy East and Dave Burns are checking on everybody else. John Young was involved, as was Rob Morgan, Lonnie Rush, Jamie McMurray, and then also Lyndon Amick, B.A. Wilson, Lance Norick, Jimmy Kitchens, and Jimmy Hensley. Now, how many of those guys will make it back? A lot of those trucks sustained heavy damage, none more so, though, than the 15 of Jeffrey Bodine. So 10 trucks, and the rest of them you see there under the red flag conditions cannot go to pit lane, cannot have any work performed on them. And I know what's going through their minds. Benny, you've been there. You know, they are thinking about one thing right now. Is Jeffrey and everybody else okay? Jeffrey
Bodine, and one thing certainly that this big crash like this will do, it will calm this race down for the last half of the race. We won't see the 3 wide and what have you until the last few laps. And again, when the checkered flag goes in the air, those drivers once again will be thinking of victory. They'll be smelling victory, and they'll be 3 wide. But at least for the next 40-50 laps, this race will calm down a little bit. But until the crash, I mean, the first 57 laps of this thing, it was spectacular. These guys were running really well. And just 3 trucks wide in the trioval, a spot that it's very, very difficult to get through 2 wide, because that's one of the loosest points of the racetrack is a trioval. 3 wide, some contact, and Is it because they forget that it's only 18 degrees of banking instead of 31? No, it is. No, they don't forget that. But why it's so loose, it is only 18 degrees of banking rather than the 31. That's the motor from Jeffrey Bodine's truck on the back of the hook. We already, if you were with us during the last segment, showed you that it ended up about 300 feet from where Jeffrey stopped his seemingly endless roll. And we can tell you he did wave or was moving his arms as he was getting into the ambulance, as they carried him into the ambulance, if you're just tuning in. Dave, let's get an update on Jeffrey. What's the latest?
Well, Marty, right behind me, Glenn Johnson is just giving the information to the media here. He's the director of communications here at Daytona, and he tells us that Jeffrey was transported directly to Halifax Hospital, that he is semi-conscious, and that he is moving. He also mentioned that he has not said anything at this point, but that he is semi-conscious. So first update on Jeffrey Bodine is very good news.
I'll tell you what, guys, looking at the number of rolls, my heart was stopping. That is good news.
And Marty, that truck getting up in the air had nothing to do with aerodynamics. That was just the force of that crash. The angle at the right front wheel of that truck actually got up in the air over the other truck. Right front wheel hit the fence, and that's what brought it up in the air. It wasn't an aerodynamic flip over.
Well, you had made that point earlier. We'd had several spins where even in the crash involving Renfro, where he got tagged on the infield grass section right coming out of turn 4, and that one was able to stay on the ground.
Okay, there we see on about the 6th car back, Lyndon Amick on the bottom of the racetrack. That's Kurt Busch in the middle. Busch and the 46 of Rob Morgan make contact. Morgan goes up and hits Jeffrey Bodine. He gets in the fence, and there Jeffrey goes down the racetrack, and that's the 27 of Lonnie Rush there that comes along and hits Jeffrey Bodine. I do believe that was Lonnie Rush. No, maybe not. That might have been the 90 car of Lance Norick that came along and hit Jeffrey Bodine.
This is real time.
That definitely was a 90 car of Lance on the bottom of the racetrack. Kurt Busch has to go up the racetrack just a little bit, and about that time the 46 starts to turn to go through the trouble and just turns in to the 99 of Busch. And when he turns him around, here comes Jeffrey Bodine with no place to go.
That sends Jeff's truck into the catch fence. It starts it tumbling over. It goes over and over and over. Right here, we think Lonnie Rush hits it, gets it tumbling the other way, actually tears the motor and everything out of it. That truck continues to tumble on down into the tri-oval.
And there the engine goes bounding down in the infield grass.
The tri-oval, the white flag is out. It's Mike Wallace, Andy Houston. Then it's Kurt Busch in third. Terry Cook in fourth. They're through one. Andy Houston has opened up about 3 truck lengths.
And he's got 2 trucks racing side by side behind him. If they can get in line, they might catch him, but they can't get in line. No one wants to give up that position.
We talked about your name goes on the trophy. You'll be the first winner, the only guy who can ever make that claim. It happened here for Lee Petty. It happened here for Dan Gurney. Who's it going to happen for? We've got 2 turns remaining. Will it be Andy Houston, Mike Wallace, Kurt Busch, rookie Kenny Martin in his first ever truck race? Oh, Andy Houston way low.
He almost crashed coming up for me. Here comes Mike Wallace in the lead.
Mike Wallace, 2 years in a row, is going to win the first race of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the inaugural Daytona 250. His second career victory at Daytona.
Jack Sprague has already run more in the race today. Contact there.
Oh,
a lot of contact between Scott Riggs and Jack Sprague.
And yesterday, Jack Sprague involved in an incident during happy hour. Here's a spin on the racetrack. 3, 4, 5 trucks involved. 1 truck had already been involved on the bottom of the racetrack.
Travis Quapple, tough break from Travis.
There's the Cat Reynolds car, truck of Mike Addington, Travis Quapple.
In the back of Jack Sprague, turned him outside into the outside, which got him into Scott Riggs, and that seized the whole field up. And I think that's what inevitably led to the other guys back there, because that got guys out of the throttle, you got guys in the throttle, and it just got jumbled up. You see the Brian Ruffner on the outside get hit in the back, and then Michael Dokken gets turned around and get hit by the 10 truck.
Mark Petty, the 10 truck involved. Dokken comes down across right in front of Travis Quapple, who had nowhere to go. He was down on the bottom minding his own business. Rich Woodland became involved. David Starr, who had gone to the back. Starr's the 41 truck, the white truck in the middle of your screen spinning around. He had gone to the back of the starting grid because of an engine change. They had to change engines this morning. You see the ball came across down pit road, saved the truck. Let's look at Derek Cope and the number 86. And here is Joe Ruttman on pit road, your pole sitter in the Dana Dodge. Look at the right rear of that truck.
Pretty significant truck, David Donahue, and got to the outside wall. I think everybody seized up, and just like the other accident in turn 1, people ran out of room. I tell you, somebody of Derek Cope's experience could probably save that accident from being a whole lot worse, Jerry. Watch the white truck on the outside here, get to the outside wall. And then it's just a chain reaction deal that gets the next guy out of the throttle, and the guy behind that not able to stop just as quick, and then a chain reaction.
And as you said, a lesser experienced driver probably would have had that truck sideways right in front of about 15 other trucks, and Derek Cope did a masterful job. While we are under caution for the second wild turkey, it's not the bourbon, that's the bird.
Uh-oh.
Trouble up on the banking. A couple of trucks coming together.
Nathan Hosley.
That is Hosley in the 99 truck out of the Roush stable.
Chuck Hosfeld's teammate in the 99 truck.
So caution will be shown for the 3rd time. We're on lap number 27.
Nathan's running by himself to truck. You can see the truck get loose, and around it goes. Lance Norrick was able to get by on the high side, but I think when Randy McDonald comes along, there's nowhere to go. He went to the high side. That's where Nathan was, and unfortunately made some pretty significant contact.
Randy McDonald, the former Canadian stock car champion.
I was talking to Nathan yesterday, actually, and he said that he was having some trouble with the handle on that truck, and talked to him just before the race, and he thought that they'd made it a whole lot better, but we don't. He could have cut a tire down, but the thing went around and unfortunately backed up into the wall.
Once again, you see Lance Norrick's truck going by. Roush truck up across the racetrack. Here comes McDonald. Heavy damage in the back of Hart, IndyCar owner, and one truck slow.
So David Donahue.
Looks like, and also the Deck Zero machine has a little, like may have some smoke out of it. There's some right front damage.
Looks like he might have got into the outside wall coming off turn 4, Jerry. Looks like he flat sided
Early on, and
here's
now
a replay.
Here's the latest one.
Just like he got forced up high by Chuck Hosfeld in the 50 truck, and it put him in the wall, and Chuck also hit the wall.
Both those trucks, we do not have caution on board with Jack Sprague. Watch Hosfeld. Boom. Out.
Pretty hard contact there. He's probably going to have some suspension damage there.
Well, he is rolling, but not up the small run of breaking the series record of 31 set a year ago.
Make that 18.
Okay, make that 18 lead change. Like I said, 18 lead changes. Thank you, Bill. As they come down. And one truck slipping across. That is Hosfeld again. Had trouble back on lap number 40. Back it off the outside wall. Caution flag has not waved as of yet as he makes the truck rolls across the grass and heads down pit road.
Your screen, the same thing happened as what happened with him and Jack Sprague, but in order to not hit Scott Ricks, who was on the outside, he jerked the thing left and lost the back end.
That is 24-year-old rookie Chuck Hosfeld out of Ransomville, New York. Now if you have never seen the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, you owe it to yourself to become a fan. This might make you a fan as we have trouble on the high banks. As the caution is out, but remember, these races do not got the 8th caution flag.
Looked like Chuck Hosfeld in the 50 truck was sideways, and Larry Gunselman had nowhere to go and ran in the side of him. We don't know exactly what caused Chuck to get sideways, but when he did, Larry Gunselman had nowhere to go. Breakaway, just like we had before the caution flag.
Wide flag. What will they do? Will Hendrick go to the inside? When will he make his move? Will Riggs be a factor? Scott Riggs had the strong truck early on. No one-year run with Riggs. That's the truck that won a year ago. The chassis that won. The team that won.
Take it back on you. He's losing you behind you. Stay with him.
Now Riggs is faded by about 4 truck lengths. Back-to-back straightaway.
Joe Ruttman is watching his mirror every inch of the way around this racetrack.
Riggs backed up to get a run.
Looking outside.
Here is Riggs.
He's there.
To the high side of Ricky Hendrick. That's going to help Joe Ruttman. You listen to Ricky Hendrick's radio. Here they come. Off the turn. Riggs has a run. Hendrick has a run. And Ruttman has 3.
What do you make?
We're just going to lower the track bar a little bit. That's about it.
Okay, we got a crash on the track right now, guys.
And that looks to be Rick Crawford and 2 other trucks involved as Crawford spins. Some trucks trying to get slowed down. One truck looks like it may have gotten tagged. That may have been Brian Sockwell. Let's check a look as he spins around. No, that's the 90 truck. Oh, a tough break for Lance Norick with a brand new sponsorship on board. A great qualifying effort.
Saved it. See, there's Rick Crawford spinning down the apron there. He probably turned left to avoid Travis Quapple and lost the car. There's Rick Crawford. Travis Quapple's already back up on the racetrack. And here you watch the trucks coming off turn number 4. You see there's Lance Norick and the 90 truck get turned around by that blue truck right there.
I wonder if there was a little fluid back there, something on the racetrack that started all that. We never really seen Crawford get hit, or Travis for that matter. He made
The trucks to have some fun. And Mike Skinner, you know how much fun this really is.
I'll tell you, I'm one of the guys that wants to drive that truck.
Whoa,
we got
somebody's
problems
sliding
here.
sideways up out of, that's 99. That's Tim Fedua in the Jack Roush Racing Ford. Fedua drive.
Blue and right truck. It might have been Donnie Neuenberger, but I'm sure it was inadvertent. Timmy may have pushed off the corner, got in front of him, and there he is making some contact with the inside wall.
And let's check in the pits with Amy for pit stop.
And we have a crash on pit road as Hornaday gets into it with number 50, John Wood. Hornaday stayed on the lead lap because of the caution that came out, but now another tough break in the pits as he makes contact. Now we see the front fender of the 50 there is going to have some damage on it, so John Wood will have to come back to pit road to get some service.
And there's a look at the
pit road there. Watch, you see him pull out there. Hornaday's trying to get to his pit, and John pulls out and pulls right into the side of Hornaday.
And that spins the 2x6.
Watch the red truck in the center right there. Look at him get sideways there. The back
what an incredible job. It's so easy to overcorrect that truck, turn it to the right to catch the back end, and then go right. But he didn't do that. As soon as the truck kicked out to the right, he corrected it and then turned it back, straightened it out, and away he went.
I don't think he ever lifted.
I don't think he did either.
Oh, wisdom. And we are seeing a caution flag for the 5th time today. Caution waving. Here is the John Wood, the Navy-sponsored Ford, and he may have had some.
He just goes into turn number 3. He's in the throttle. He must have felt the tire going down because you could hear him back off the throttle. The truck turned off. Turned to the right, went up to the wall, and hit the wall. He got out of the throttle enough to keep it from making significant contact with the wall, but it was enough to necessitate some repairs on pit road. Joe shut the door on him.
Terry Cook's in a good spot right now.
Terry Cook has not.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh, trouble on the back straightaway. Hard into the wall. Goes the 60 truck of Travis Kvapil. 5, 6, 7 trucks involved. Matt Crafton sliding sideways.
Lance Norick in the 90 truck.
Heavy contact by Matt Crafton on the inside wall. Lance Norick in the 90 is involved. There's Norick's truck is rolling.
Billy Lester was involved in the 8 truck.
That big a crash right there, we're probably going to see the green-white checkers.
Finishing under caution. Here's what happened a moment ago.
See, Jason Leffler for some reason came down away from the wall, got in the back of Travis Kvapil, turned him around. That's what started this accident. And the rest of these guys had absolutely nowhere to go. The smoke and trucks in the middle of the racetrack. And you see Rick Crawford flying through the infield. See if he can avoid Billy Lester there. He does, fortunately.
I just wonder if the 5 and the 2 got together just a little bit and turned the 2 down into it. Look at this again.
You're right, Mike. You might have. The 5 might have gotten to the left for a quarter of the 2, and that's what turned him down to the inside, because that's not like Jason Leffler, just a turn left right there. So I think Mike's probably right.
Not with all Jason's experience in a Winston Cup and Busch car. And a tough break. Travis Kvapil head on to the wall, but he drove it away. Here again, a different look.
Looks like they're
maybe a little help from behind or the side. I don't know.
Looked like Jason got a little bit loose. Watch Matt Crafton hit hard on the inside. Very hard on the inside.
He was lucky to keep on his wheels there.
Great Menard, unfortunately, great Menard sponsorship. White flag.
White flag, that time by. And Robert Presley trying to hold on to win his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race in his very first start. No one's done it since Mike Skinner did it back in February of 1995.
Is Brian Rose, Robert Presley's teammate, going to help Ted Musgrave?
Talking about the 3rd place truck there, the 4. Will he help the 1 draft by? Final lap there in turn 3. Robert Presley, 2nd generation driver. Can he hold on? Here comes Musgrave, the veteran, 46 years of age. Presley's 42. Lots of Winston Cup experience here in the NASCAR Craftsman trucks. They come down, and the Florida Dodge Dealers 250 goes to Dodge and Robert Presley.
You should have that problem right there. You switch that one off, go to a backup ignition switch. He did that, got her fired up again, so he just took him a second to realize what was wrong, and then that crowd, whew.
Travis Kvapil out in front here. And
here we go. David Starr. Big crash down the front straightaway coming out of turn 4.
Pretty hard hit there on the left front. He obviously got help to slide that far on the asphalt.
Low, coming off turn 4. He just got a little help, maybe. I don't know.
Looks like he got up into Mike Wallace in the 52.
Big hit nonetheless as you come off that turn 4 and hit that solid concrete wall.
So that's a lot of testing, a lot of time spent, brand new truck, all your hopes down the drain. Biggest race of the year for these. We'll see that a lot, but that is probably one of the best spotters, if not the best, that I have ever had.
Oh, trouble right in front of him.
Top big one.
Here we go.
Ted Musgrave getting spun around.
The 1
he gets
and
into
the 2.
1.
The 1 and the 2.
Ultra Motorsports team both getting taken up in that one.
Got both of them. There it was as a driver. I saw that happen in front of me, and I just locked up. I said, uh-oh.
Ted Musgrave having problems.
See what they say here.
He mentioned.
Okay, let's watch this.
See him up there.
Oh, look at that. The whole side come off of it.
Tire came apart.
That was a left rear.
Left rear came apart.
That was the whole tread coming out of the left rear that started that, what could have been a lot bigger, still a big wreck nonetheless.
If we can see that again, Ted Musgrave actually got into the side of somebody early on. As we look at it here again.
Watch it, starting to wiggle. There goes the whole carcass.
Oh, the 93.
That knocked off the fuel pump on the 93. The 2 right in the back, nowhere to go. The 54 involved. These guys behind doing a real good job to miss all this.
Especially with their eyes closed.
We're on board with Jason Leffler, and again, he got caught up in this one as we watch and listen.
There it goes. There goes the tire. That's what that looks like.
And now we ride with the cause of that. For 14 laps, and 11 cars are out of this race. And there you see your lap leaders, Crawford and Hamilton, Quapple, Edwards, Presley, all getting
trouble.
The lead.
Trouble in the front straightaway. It's going to be a big one, I think.
And Carl Edwards.
It's Edwards who lost it.
Hold on, just keep your brakes locked. Keep them locked.
Good. Keep it locked down.
Okay?
Big hit.
You see his hands moving.
I'm fine.
He's fine. You hear him talking.
What let go there, but
fine but disappointed. Let's head down to Ray.
Well, guys, they were coming down now in the trioval. They do a little bump. It turns the front of the 99 down. Carl Edwards on a big hit to the wall right here. Real lucky these guys behind him. Look at the Dodge right there go by. Good
Matt
save by that.
Crafton down on the low side too.
That's a hit. Look at the back of that truck.
He made some comment about something let go. Look at him moving up into Presley.
They bumped just
Mike
a little
Wallace.
bit.
Yeah, what let go was all the downforce he had. That's worst scenario when you're up about a third of the way on the truck on the outside. Plus they did touch.
Here's a good look right here. The tribal doesn't have the banking at the corner. You see right here, they're just going to take the air off the back, and there it goes.
Oh my goodness, see how close he came to Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton actually spun a little bit.
Look at that truck. Whoever was in that truck there did a whale of a job.
And you know, it upset the 52 truck too, but he turned right to keep it straight.
We're on board with the number 50 of John Wood.
This will be in your face. Look right here in front of you. We'll see if they touch or not. If it's just air off the spoiler. We're going to get close. No touch. No touch yet.
Now they're coming into the trioval right here. Again, Wallace on the right side and Carl Edwards getting very close. Oh, he gets spun around and jets up right behind John Wood.
They bumped 2 times right there. There's enough to upset it.
Here's Bobby Hamilton. Take a look at this. The square D Dodge. And
whoa, buddy. And Bobby had to get into the wall to avoid him. He banged the wall pretty good there.
That back out in the pace truck because of the problem. And you see in the back here, Chad Chapman cuts tire. And you see him spinning along there. We take another look at that, guys.
Blew a right rear just as he turned in there. Nothing he could do about it. Keeps it off the wall, but he's got a long way, Barry, to go back and get a new one.
He sure does. They came in, put 4 tires.
Get out of the throttle. Look at the hood on Mike Wallace. Hood's coming loose, starting to flap real bad.
It's torn the webbing out.
Oh, crash.
Big crash. Here it is.
Here it comes. There's 3 involved right now.
L.W. Miller there in the 28 sliding into the infield.
That was off turn 4. That's where everybody gets dicey, where you have to try to make your moves. This one didn't work.
2 more trucks involved here.
Racing back to the line here.
Really shouldn't, but they're going to. And it does not matter in this series. This is green, white, checker. Will not finish under caution. That's the great part about truck racing.
Having troubles.
53.
He's out of control. He's already lost it.
He's going to clip the back end 80. No, he didn't either. He hadn't lost it yet.
He's trying to hold on. There you see Matt Crafton up there, and that was the problem. Lance Hooper getting into Matt Crafton. And then right behind him, L.W. Miller sliding into the side of Lance Hooper.
Yeah, when that shot started, Briggs was sideways, guys.
Yeah, Briggs started to lose it on his own. He didn't hit anybody. He did a fantastic save, as a matter of fact. We'll see it right here. Gets in there, he's loose.
See, he's
turns
going
down.
right there.
Lance Hooper nicks him right there, or he hits Lance Hooper into Matt Crafton. And Briggs actually able to go by without a problem. And then L.W. Miller gets caught up in the problems.
And that could have been a lot worse than it was, quite honestly.
Especially had it been at the front.
So that's going to run some laps out. Looks good for Rick Crawford. Another look at it. Up on top here. Oh, that's a big hit, Barry.
That's a hard hit.
Just a T-bone on top of it. Make it, icing on the cake.
Well, we're under caution number 6 here at the Florida Dodge. And he said earlier, there's nothing we can do now. It's all in his spotters and Rick Crawford's hand. And Rick Crawford has to be happy.
Trouble on the turn three.
There's Bill Lester spinning, but that wasn't Bill who started this one out.
Now we're going to see green, white checker.
And Tina Gordon gets right into Bill Lester right there.
Nowhere to
now
go.
She looks like she might. That's just radiator steam, I think, underneath the hood there. Collects Bill Lester. That all in turn 3. All these trucks.
Bill Lester, they're getting sideways.
Lester loses it in front of the 07.
Another tire. That's another tire.
Randy Briggs getting caught in that as well.
That was
problems with Bill Lester today.
Lester spinning up into Rich Bickle. Now watch Tina Gordon.
Oh,
nowhere to go. Coming off the banking.
And how? Let's take a look at it on board with Bill Lester.
And listen here. Blown tire, we think.
Comes into turn 3.
There it went. You heard it shred. It sure did, Barry, right rear.
You can bet your bottom dollar that you have Busch crew chiefs, Winston Cup crew chiefs, and tire specialists down there right now talking to crews, talking to Goodyear about what is going on. We have seen way too many tire problems today. Way too many.
Take another look here.
And it's not from where it
happened behind you there. The red truck there went.
Tire blows on board with Dennis Setzer right there looking back.
Took out Rich Bickle. That was the truck that he got into when he went up. Bobby Hamilton pushing on him from behind.
2 Dodges lined up on the high side. Rick Crawford on the low side. And here comes Terry Cook now on the high side. Terry Cook going for the pass as they go into turn 1.
3 wide. They split Terry Cook in the middle. Crawford to the downside. He's going to get help. Here comes Travis Kvapil.
Kvapil on the bottom side. Rick Crawford on the inside. Robert Presley on the high side. Bobby Hamilton right behind him. They're pushing him down the back.
The bottom line. The bottom line. Here it comes.
Rick Crawford coming back now. Robert Presley out in front. He's going to be able to block Crawford and stay on the bottom. And Robert Presley going to try to defend his title here.
Dennis Setzer makes it 3 up on top. Dennis Setzer around the outside of Bobby Hamilton.
Here they come out of forward. Presley dodging to the high side. Crawford goes down low. He tries to make the pass as they're coming on the line. It's Rick Crawford making the pass, and Crawford wins the Daytona 250.
What a win for Tom Mitchell, sitting at home in Texas, watching it on speed.
That's what I'm talking about. Truck racing.
I wonder if Rick's little boy's here. It'd be great to see him in the pits here.
Unbelievable. Rick Crawford with a move. Presley tries to go up on the high side. Crawford ducks down low. Let's head down to the celebration and side for the lead. Terry Cook on the inside. Travis Kvapil on the outside. And on the inside comes early. That's the 62 of Steve Park sliding all across the grass now.
Keep it going.
Bill Lester, I believe, in the 22.
Good job. Take a look at that side when it comes by. Watch out coming out of the grass there.
Manufacturing.
Oh, wow.
75 of David Starr. And he had problems on lap 2 of last year's race.
He's got a little damage to the front end of the truck, but nothing like the damage he had into Steve Park. That knocks him into Bobby Hamilton. Bobby made some contact with the outside wall.
One of the fastest trucks in practice yesterday, Phil, Bobby Hamilton. We saw him get the lead early on the back straightaway. That's going to do a lot of damage to that Square D truck. Steve trying to get 4 tires down here in the pits before the leaders, before the pack gets back around here. I don't believe he's going to make it.
David Starr, the 75 truck, just a victim of search of the deer. You see the contact between David Rudham and...
It just looked like David came up off the corner a little bit wider than Steve thought he was. Steve had a little bit of room to the outside that he wasn't taking advantage of. I'm sure he assumed that that Rudham would stay dead on the bottom, and he didn't.
Yeah, here they are. They've already got together. You see Steve. That's what a great shot. That's what you see, Jack Sprague, and that's at 180-some miles an hour.
On board with Jack Sprague there.
I'm sure Bobby Hamilton probably will want to take a look. Carl's going to get together with the 59 truck of Randy LaJoie, and they just turned him that way, Michael.
Golly, they're so fortunate. They just did a great job there of not panicking. You know, they came together.
Contact earlier, cut down his left rear tire, and around he goes. He was trying to get back to the pits.
And this brings out the caution flag. And because of the caution flag, we had even more problems.
They're just racing back to the caution flag. You see Robert Huffman, that's the 12th truck coming right across the racetrack. He got ran into from behind. Looked like by the 08 of Ken Weaver.
See, Tina got down in the grass trying to figure out which way to go, and she gets loose and turns around. It's really a shame.
88 getting by.
It's a shame that happened.
They make major adjustments on pit stops.
These guys are getting too aggressive, Phil. With this bump drafting, they're going to turn somebody into the wall, and that's exactly what happened.
Very hard. You see smoke coming out.
Matt Crafton had some damage there in the 6 truck of Kevin Harvick. Ken Weaver is a rookie. I don't want a rookie bump drafting me. He just hit Steve too hard and turned him into the outside wall.
Probably didn't hit him as exactly square like you need to keep him turning somebody sideways.
And he's a lap down on top of that. A couple of laps down.
See him right there. He was outside.
And he came across.
And he came across and hit him while he was doing that. And it just turned the right front of Steve's truck right into the outside wall.
How many wide are they back? They're 4 or 5 wide.
5 wide.
Trying to get through that mess. And
Matt Crafton, the victim of circumstances there. He must have, I don't know if maybe in the aftermath he just punted somebody a little bit. We heard a little bit of his radio traffic saying that he thought that may have come up a little bit.
Well, Crawford got sideways, Phil, and his nose. Oh, we got one wrecking off turn 4.
Oh, a big accident off turn number 4.
Mike Skinner, the 42. Ted Musgrave, the 1.
That's a super speedway crash.
Joey Clanton in the 40. Oh, man.
59 of Randy LaJoy. Looks like the 8 maybe of Chase Montgomery.
We saw the pole sitter, Terry Cook slide through that mess without any damage.
There's Bobby Hamilton getting going. There's Randy LaJoy. Look at the right front tire there. It's not supposed to be there, Michael.
Shortened up his wheelbase on that right side. Bobby's got some damage to the left front. Bobby Hamilton, I'm speaking of. You can see Randy there's in trouble.
Ted Musgrave, unbelievable. 2 years in a row, they've had problems with that Mopar. This is the beginning of the accident.
Oh, it looked like the 16 truck of Sprague was up under Tracy Hines, Phil. Yeah. He had made a move under Tracy. Tracy didn't know he was there. Those trucks got together.
And it just slid them right back up in front of all these trucks coming. As you mentioned, it was mid-pack, but the pack was as many trucks on the racetrack. That's how big the pack was.
Ted Musgrave looked as though he was slowing down. He was leading earlier, just a lap before, and looked as though he was slowing down on the inside of the track and got caught up in all this. Maybe he was coming in for a stop.
You see Jack Sprague get turned around sideways, and the truck turns back around, goes back up the racetrack, right in front of all these trucks.
Wow.
And you can see what those guys see. Absolutely nothing. Just smoke.
Let's check out some of these guys that did a good job slipping through this deal.
Sprague got hit pretty hard there by Musgrave. There's Bobby Hamilton sliding around.
That's a track blocker, Phil. Nobody got through it.
Well, there's Ken Weaver coming in and hitting the 31 of J.R. Armendia really, really hard.
And problems as well. Caution number 5 came out because of this.
God. Vicious, Rick.
Going to come down a little bit on the 88 of Tracy Hines, but it's not. I don't think it's a situation where he just turned left to come down. These trucks are moving around so much, Michael. His truck probably just went that way, and he had no control over it.
The 88 throwing smoke up, leading in front of this entire pack. Nobody can see what's going on.
Yeah, and Tracy Hines he was a victim of circumstance. He just was minding his own business right on the bottom of the road. And either Jack didn't realize he was under him and dove for the bottom, or the truck might have gotten sideways with Jack a little bit.
I believe that's Mike Skinner.
Mike Skinner was who made that late pit stop. He's trouble.
John Wood just was down on the inside of Frank Kimmel.
You're all right. Hold on to her.
Caution flag flies. That's caution 6.
Rolling. Keep her rolling.
Isn't it great that that NASCAR and this speedway has paved that area coming off there?
See that?
Yeah, just got loose, saved it, caught it one time, but the second time he couldn't quite save it. No contact from anybody, but did a pretty good job driving through the infield there. Thing turned around on him. He's going to straighten back out and never stop and get right back on.
He tried to stay off those brakes as much as he could, so not to flat spot those tires any worse than he had to, knowing that if he didn't hit anything, he needed to get to pit road and get some more tires. Rudeman there, checked up, missed the 50. He's had an eventful evening for his first trip to Daytona. He's seen it all, I think.
He's gonna say, I hope the second time I come to Daytona is going to be a little less eventful.
Check him out.
It's amazing when you have a truck on the outside of you like that. It just robs so much air off your rear spoiler. It just pulls it back into that truck around.
You hear the tires light up. You know, you're turning 7,500 RPMs, and you hear the back tire.
That's a bad. There he is right there on the inside. Oh, there was some contact right there, Michael. And he got him sideways, and when he got straight, he was just aimed towards the infield. He did a great job. Now, instead of panicking, he just held onto the steering wheel.
Got a problem in turn number 1. That's Tina Gordon in the Vassarette 13. Problems continue for Tina Gordon.
What is Mike Wallace's plan? When do you make the move? The race wasn't decided until off of turn 4 a year ago. Mike knows this.
You make the move too soon, and you can have 3 or 4 guys drive by you. So.
Carl Edwards putting some distance between himself and Mike Wallace. Wallace and Quapple now trying to negotiate their way up closer to the 99 as they work their way down the backstretch, and into turn number 3, Carl Edwards out in front of Mike Wallace, Travis Quapple, and the defending race champion of this race, Rick Crawford. Coming out of turn number 4, dicing, dancing.
Oh, he got sideways.
It's going to be Carl Edwards winning the Florida Dodge Dealers 250.
How about a Toyota finishing second in there?
Rick Crawford just taking an unbelievable ride and coming to rest in the infield just in front of the grandstands. The caution comes out. The field slows down. Bill Lester still out in front of this pack, and Rick Crawford the only truck being caught up in this. So
position, he looks to the inside of Todd Bodine. Todd comes down the hill, forces him to the inside. The air gets underneath the truck, turns it over, 1 revolution, and then back on 4 wheels. What a ride.
What a ride. He needs to make sure he doesn't go too fast right now. He's got a flat right front tire. Check out this look. Todd just ping-ponging back and forth, Bill.
Yeah, he bounces off of that Terry Cook truck into Rick Crawford. You can see the tire mark on the right side. You see the wheel still spinning on Rick Crawford's truck while it's up in the air.
He hits the brakes there.
He was finally smart enough to let off. That's pretty. That's using your head. He's flipping over at Daytona, and he let off the gas. I'm proud of him for that. He's going to have a flat right front tire. If he can nurse that thing back to the pits, he might be able to keep racing.
Let's take a ride with Terry Cook. Terry Cook was on the outside. He's the truck that Todd Bodine got into. You see, there's the contact, and Todd bounces off him into Rick Crawford.
Just 3 wide racing off the turn at Daytona. And these trucks are really unstable this year, Phil. They're a little bit loose, and so any turbulence at all could have kicked Todd Bodine's truck sideways, and he had to go somewhere. He went out, hit Cook, then came off and hit Crawford.
Mike Harmon in the 21 getting spun around in turn 4, coming off of 4, actually hits the wall on the inside of the track.
Got a little bit loose and jumped up in front of Deborah Renshaw. There was probably some contact there. It sent him around. He made some contact with the inside wall. A 5th, a 9th, a 6th, a 6th, a 4th. And he's the only driver.
Oh, there we go.
Here's a problem. Kerry Earnhardt gets spun sideways. Problem stacking up behind him. Cars racing down pit road again. Chase Montgomery involved in this one. Regan Smith. Shiggy Hattori.
Todd Cleaver.
Problems again for Todd Cleaver. Brandon Witt makes it into the infield.
And here comes the truck spy that laid back. He carries right on the bottom of the racetrack. He looks like he gets a little bit sideways right beside David Runham. It didn't look like there was any contact. It looked like it just got loose on the inside. When you're on the inside of another truck, it robs that truck of air off the spoiler. It looks like it just got loose. Take another look.
They're side by side, and it's just almost impossible when you're driving that close together and you're trying to do it 3 wide to keep the thing going straight.
See Tracy, Matt Kraft on the 88 gets run into from behind, gets turned around. And watch these, there's Dennis Setzer, Chad Chaffin. They go down pit road at 180 miles an hour, just like Carl Edwards did last year, and he came back and won the race.
Are you okay?
Take a look at it at regular speed.
Doesn't look like anybody was hurt, Phil. That's the best part of it. They're all able to walk away or drive away.
Let's take a ride with Kerry Earnhardt. This is not going to be much fun. See Brandon Witt's truck on the hook. Here's Kerry on the inside. You heard him playing with the throttle even before he got sideways, so he obviously knew his truck was a little bit loose, and then when he kind of sucked up into the side of David Rudiman, just pulled him around.
Let's see what Center sees. Look at this move.
Watch him go down pit road here. Wow. See all the trucks crashing in the background over on the racetrack, and Dennis is just idling down pit road about 100.
Tonight, we haven't seen that truck get the lead yet.
Whoa, with a lot of steering going on. Boy, Brendan Gaughan was really snatching on that steering wheel.
Still bouncing around.
Whoa, Brendan Gaughan.
There he goes, into the wall.
Brendan Gaughan up into the wall, and problems with Mike Skinner as well.
David Rudiman's the first truck to get through there.
Most everybody else made it. Did Brendan have a flat, you think?
I'm not sure. I saw him doing a lot of steering with that truck.
It's a possibility that he got together with another truck and maybe had a flat.
By the 5. That's when I looked down. I saw him doing a lot of steering. Just looks like he got a little bit loose there, Michael.
Yeah, I think he just lost the truck. He might have had a flat though, Phil. You never know. Boy, Rudiman slipped through there, and Mike Skinner like the darn foot at the most, and he would have been clear.
Look how close they get together side by side. Now Mike Skinner pulls up a little bit, and watch Brendan now. He's going to start getting a little bit loose. Almost they make a little bit of contact, and then he loses the back end, and then runs up and just clips Mike Skinner.
Looks a whole lot like the Kerry Earnhardt crash, doesn't it, Phil?
Sure it does.
They get side by side, and Brendan just can't keep control of his truck.
Coming out of turn 4 onto the tri-oval. Wendy?
David Rudiman is on pit road. They decided to come in even though they pit just 11 laps ago. They're working on the left-hand side. No adjustments for David Rudiman's truck. Let's go to Ray.
Todd, what's some semblance of reality here?
Caution has come out now.
Tracy Hines
trying to get down pit road, was not able to do it.
Got a flat left rear or what? Or is the track bar broke? Something ain't right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened. He's got definitely has a flat rear left.
While we're under caution.
Uh-oh. Think he did that on purpose?
I'm not sure.
Stuck to his game plan, and now here he is getting ready to battle for the win at Daytona.
Got a side-by-side battle for the lead. Whoa!
Problems early on. Chad Chaffin gets spun around and upside down. Chaffin back onto his wheels, and we were on board with Dennis Setzer.
Dennis made some contact. Looks like he was trying to bump draft him, and he got Chad turned around. There's Terry Cook after such a great effort. He was involved.
Let's see what happened. Looks like bump drafting might be. Yeah, Dennis gave him a little shot.
Wow, completely over. Here goes Terry. Boy, Terry had a wild ride through the grass. He was fortunate that his truck stayed down. You see the roof flap just deploy.
Take another look at that one.
Bam, Dennis right there. Give him a little shot in the back and turn Chad's truck around and over, by the way.
Wow, what a view that was.
And hit on the left front wheel, so I'm sure some suspension damage to that.
Chad, it pushes him a little bit sideways. Then Dennis actually turns him around after Chad comes back to the bottom of the racetrack, and way up in the air he goes.
Here comes Terry Cook joining him for a slide through the grass.
Looks like Robert Huffman might have gotten the back of Terry Cook. I see some damage to the front of that truck.
Oh, and it was a pileup behind him.
Yeah, once that bump drafting started going crazy, then they just bunched up from behind. Rudiman had nowhere to go, bumped into the 46. Just a good idea gone bad when the bump drafting that they were doing on the back straightaway knocked the 30 truck sideways.
We ride along with Dennis Setzer.
Bang, just hit him and got it wiggling. Now, I bet you Dennis has hit somebody like that all night long and the truck never moved. You know, you don't know which way Chad had his wheels pointed, and Dennis must have hit him right at the wrong time. Dennis would never do something like that unless he had it calculated out, and for some reason it went wrong.
He looked like he hit him pretty square, but you know these trucks are pretty light in the rear end right now. A lot of these trucks are complaining about being loose. But just slow motion here. You see, he looks like he hits him pretty square, but it looks like his bumper rides up underneath the back bumper of Chad Chaffin, and that may be why it turned him around. It might have picked the rear wheels off the ground, Michael. And then all 4 wheels were off the ground.
Yeah, it definitely eventually picked him off, didn't it?
He hit that left front very hard, so they're still checking on the suspension of that one. Ray?
Bobby Hamilton unable to clear Papadine until just now.
Looks like he's got him cleared now. Look,
here comes Ricky Craven back on the outside.
Way on the outside.
Almost into the wall. They're dicing and dancing again as they cross the start finish. And Bobby Hamilton makes the pass. And problems right as they go across the start finish line. Another big crash as they go across the start finish line, and the white flag had come out as they cross the start finish line. That will mean, I believe, Bobby Hamilton will win the Florida Dodge Dealers 250.
I think you're exactly right. The field is automatically frozen when the caution flag comes out, and it looked like Bobby Hamilton had been celebrating, but we don't know who's going to be credited with this win.
What happened to Matt Crafton?
Matt Crafton gets on the inside.
Got loose and just turns right back up into this pack.
It's going to hit David Ruderman in the 17 truck. There's Jack Sprague. He gets hit into the outside wall.
And you see Bobby Hamilton and Jimmy Spencer were just side by side when that was all taking place.
Whatever NASCAR calls, it won't be a mistake. They were
within 3 or 4 feet anyway, so it can go either way.
What happened?
Take another look. Looks like Matt just got a little bit loose. I don't think there was any contact from David Ruderman. Boy, they made some hard contact in the outside wall. Thank goodness for the safer barriers, Michael.
Well, when they had the crash, when the crash started, Spencer was ahead. But when does NASCAR, when they flip the light on, when they throw the flag, when does it happen? How do we know who won the race right now?
That is a uniform process that takes place. It is all done up in the press box. NASCAR has a button. And when the caution needs to come out, that button is pushed. And right when that button is pushed, the computer freezes the field according to the last loop that the trucks went across.
Well, I'm going to guess Spencer won then. He had a bit of an advantage on him when the wreck was happening. So if they got the button pushed while the wreck was happening, which I know they did, I think maybe Spencer won.
And the most recent loop would have more than likely been the start-finish line. And Jimmy Spencer was ahead at being displayed.
Well, he's going to display it for a while. It would take him, his reaction to change flags would take way longer than it would to push a button to turn on the lights.
If it was strictly on when the flagman got the yellow flag out, then Bobby Hamilton would be the winner of the race. But it's not that anymore. In the control tower, NASCAR pushes a button that displays the caution lights around the racetrack and locks the scoring loops down. And that's how they determine who is ahead of who at the most recent scoring loop.
Jimmy Spencer celebrating.
I don't blame him. I'd celebrate too.
This would be win number 2 for Jimmy Spencer in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He is going to run the entire season in the Truck Series in that snap-on number 2.
He won in this very truck a couple years ago at Loudon, New Hampshire. And this truck with Ultra Motorsports won this race, the inaugural race back in 2000 with Mike Wallace.
Fans were seeing fireworks flying above the track. We saw a lot of fireworks taking place.
Pit road right around lap 36. They can go to 40 if they need to, but 36 is the number I'm hearing here. But Aaron Crocker came on lap 22. Why? Because she was running very hot. 265 was the temperature on the water for her truck. The only problem was, as all the rookies have a lot to learn when they come here, Aaron came to pit road.
Getting loose. Off 4.
Is there a problem on the track,
Michael? Problem on turn number 4.
Joey Miller.
That's Joey Miller in the number 12, curb records number 12, Toyota. And he slaps the wall. That's just before the entrance to pit road. Caution comes out for the first time in Daytona.
Well, let's see if we can take a look at what happened. See him on the outside. There's Aaron Crocker, the 98. Here comes the 99 of Eric Darnell around the outside.
Just sucked him around. So we saw Eric Amarola do the same thing yesterday. And look, right here, he's got the gas wide open.
Trying to keep it off the racetrack. Now he needs to get on the brakes.
Right, he just tried to hook it around too long, and it just wound up hitting the wall. I don't know how much damage was done. It was a safer barrier. Pretty good shot to the wall, though. We saw cats bounce off the wall in Atlanta, though, and they just keep on going faster.
This real time. Again, upwards of 185 miles an hour.
Just left her on the mat a little bit longer than he should have.
He did a great job keeping that truck from going back up the racetrack into the outside. Well, you see him right now, he nails the throttle to keep it going forward. See, the wheel's still spinning right now. Now he just locks up the brakes.
just a hair too late.
You know, we talked yesterday in practice when Almirola spun out. Sometimes you make a mistake and you get away from it, get away with it. Eric spun out, didn't hit a thing, was able to continue on. It'll be interesting to see if
he was going to wreck, it was going to try to be toward the front. He has managed to try to run up in the front this entire race. I don't know that he's been back beyond the top 5 this entire race.
The IROC race we saw on speed just before the truck race, he was running second when he got crashed. So that just must be his motto. It's okay if you get crashed. Oh, no,
we got a problem. Boston Reed, Mike Bliss, Bill Lester, Craig Kinzer trying to negotiate his way through. He's able to get through. That was Mike Bliss.
He says, all right, Mike. Doesn't look like Mike's truck's all that bad.
Well, a lot of damage to the right side. You can see the right rear wheel pretty plainly.
Yeah, Bill Lester got quite a bit of damage in that accident also.
Mike's rolling again, so he'll try to get that thing to pit road. I wonder if Boston Reed leaving pit road had something to do with this, Phil. You know,
he came out in the middle of that pack for sure. Let's see if we can take a look back, Mike, on what happened. That's Mike Bliss on the inside, right beside of Jack Sprague. There's the 25. We just got a little bit loose. We've seen it happen. He got loose. And then when he tried to save it, drove down off the bank, came back up right in front of Boston Reed. Boston Reed had absolutely nowhere to go.
Not a place, Phil. What a great job by Craig Kinzer in the 47 truck. Did you see him just chill out and slide through that mess? Not get any damage to that truck?
Kyle Krisloff doing the same thing in the number 15 just behind that 47 of Craig Kinzer.
He just got loose entering the corner when he came back up the racetrack right in front of Boston Reed.
Look at Kinzer. He bounces off the wall a little bit, but keeps his cool. Krisloff came in a little hot, but was able to get her woe down and dive under these cats. Mike just got loose underneath that other truck. We've seen it happen. It's what happened to Eric yesterday in practice.
There's another view of it. Just got a little bit loose. The transition, sometimes when you drive down the corner, you start turning and you don't catch all the bank right away. And it looked like that transition from the straightaway to the corner is where he lost the back end of that truck.
Along with Dennis Setzer just behind this accident.
What an unfortunate incident for Boston Reed. He has a flat tire, he comes out, gets in line, and then gets crashed. No, nothing he did wrong, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Out in front, it's Mark Martin. There's Ashley. There's Ashley Sutton watching Mom go around this 2.5-mile trioval. Caution has come out here at Daytona. This is our third caution of the night. This is just one of the trucks involved in a big crash. It didn't start out that big. Craig Kinzer looked as though he was just getting up against the wall, but we see Eric Almirola in the 75 stopped in the infield right now. A lot of damage to that truck.
This was an aftermath of it looked like Craig Kinzer blew a tire. We could only make it about 30 laps in our cup cars before tires would go away. It was getting into that zone. It looked like Almirola lost the right front tire and was up against the wall. I guess truck slowing down in wake of that all got together. Let's see if we can catch some video here. There's Almirola.
Cuts down the right front tire.
I'm sorry.
Craig Kinzer.
Kinzer, I'm sorry.
47.
How did this happen?
There's Mike Wallace. Remember, we saw him running in the top 3 positions. There's the 15 of Kyle Krisloff.
He gets out without too much damage. I just don't understand. What? Oh, Joey Miller, bad crash. Look at the front of that truck, Phil.
Matt Crafton gets caught up by Brad Keselowski. You see the 75 of Eric Almirola go by already with some damage.
Take another look at this accident.
Oh, wow. Something happened to Mike Wallace, and he was slowing down.
No, that was in reaction to what had happened to the 47
down because of the 47.
Let's go to pit road.
Wow. The 75.
Ray.
Todd Bodine was in here, guys, and he was a little bit wanting a chassis adjustment, so what they decided to do was put a ½ pound in the right rear. That'll help tighten him up just a little bit for the 30 truck. Krista?
5 trucks have broken away. Mike Skinner looked to the inside, but got back in line. Now we see Jack Sprague trying to make the move on the low side. Sprague trying to take over second for Todd Bodine.
See if Ted Musgrave can go with him.
Oh, no.
He's getting sideways.
There goes Jack Sprague. He moves up the track. He saves an amazing save for Jack Sprague.
Coming hard here, coming outside.
What a save, but he's going to lose so much momentum. Put it into the wall by the 77 truck.
Brendan Gaughan getting pushed sideways down the tri-oval. That brings out our 4th caution.
We've got trucks flying down pit road.
But as long as they decrease their speed as they travel down pit road,
God, we could have won this thing.
You heard the dejection on Brendan Gaughan's. You heard his voice. He said, we could have won this thing. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened. Watch the 17 right here. He just squeezed him up in the wall. David looked like he just didn't have quite enough room. Made contact with the right rear corner of the 77 truck of Brendan Gaughan. Turned him into the wall. David Ruderman's going to have some damage with the 17 truck. You see a lot of damage on the 77 Orleans Dodge. Well, look at this save by Jack Sprague. He got completely sideways, drove down off the bank, and straightened it out.
That all happening just before coming out of turn 4. And you see the truck slamming into the wall as they came out of 4.
That didn't have anything to do with watch.
Oh. Watch him, out of baby, come on. Easy back up on the track.
Well, Dennis Setzer went through the grass at about 170 miles an hour.
I don't think that had anything to do with Sprague getting sideways. It's just a result that David got up on the outside of Brendan, and Brendan acted like he wasn't even there, and there's only 3 laps to go. David's got to leave his foot in the gas.
Well, Jack wasn't up to speed, and he was coming off turn number 4, and he was moving up the racetrack, so Brendan might have caught a glimpse of him, and he was going to try to move up, not realizing that David was there to give himself a little bit more room. Unfortunate situation for those guys. Guys, this is Daytona. You don't. If you got a shot at a win here, you got to take it, don't you, Michael? You've won a couple Daytona 500.
You can't substitute what winning at Daytona means to a NASCAR driver. If Mike Hillman Jr. called Todd and said, "Okay, we just won a top 5. We're looking at the big picture," Todd would think his radio was messing up. He wouldn't be able to believe what he's hearing. He wants to win this race, and we're off for 2 laps of racing to see who can pull it off.
Mark Martin just in front of Todd Bodine, but will he be able to stay there? We've got Toyotas packed up behind Todd Bodine. A problem at the start-finish line. Spinning around, Rick Crawford. Actually, Crawford not involved in that. It's Ron Hornaday in the 33.
Caution is out. Keep digging.
Caution has come back out again.
They only give us 1 shot at a green-white checker. I would think that means
the race is over.
This race is over, and Mark Martin will win this race.
They're going to get the white and the caution this time by.
Again, this was on a restart. This was an attempt at a green-white checkered finish. And you look at the top of your screen, what takes place.
You can see that truck doesn't get going right off the bat, Rick, and it bunched everybody up. Usually about 5-6 trucks back from where there's a problem. Finally, they begin to stack up, and Ron Hornaday was just right there.
Here's what Bobby Hamilton saw. Remember, Bobby was a lap down. He starts going. You see a truck get turned in the wall. That's the 33 of Ron Hornaday. The chain reaction got all the way back to Ron Hornaday. He got into the truck in front of him and turned him in the wall.
I still get my feet.
This is Mark Martin's crew. They're not sure what's going on.
They're pointing at the accident.
See the accident in front. Then they realize, hey, we just won the race. I think.
Yeah, we won, right?
We won the race, right?
Are you sure? Are you sure we won the race?
Mark Martin celebrating with the crowd here at Daytona. Phenomenal crowd on hand to witness Mark Martin winning at Daytona.
I might be a bit of a goofball feel, but man, that does it for me right there. Hearing those trucks come up to full speed and watching them jockey for position. This is what racing is all about. These guys are going to do crazy things tonight.
I'm telling you, there's nothing like watching the start of a race at Daytona. It is unbelievable. You know, Jack Sprague, we talked about in the open about the Toyotas talking about getting together. Jack says, I really want to get the jump on that outside guy and get going, and Todd's going to push me.
How much you want to bet Mike Skinner wants to lead the first lap? And then everyone right after that. and he got a push there from Quapple. Quapple acted like he was going to go with him, got him up top, and then pulled back into the line. So Mike got tricked there a little bit.
We're already 3 wide. Right there, we've got Mike Wallace. That's the DirecTV Hot Pass Chevrolet, the 46. That's Stacy Compton in that 16 truck, and that's a Ford this year.
Oh, we got a crash already, Phil.
Problems coming across the trial. 46 of Mike Wallace. Wallace with a lot of damage to the front of that truck.
That DirecTV Hot Pass truck's torn up, Rick. He's done for tonight. I would have said Oh, I see what went wrong.
He got hooked in the right rear by, was that Joey Clanton maybe in the 09?
Yeah, but it wasn't Joey's fault. Mike, it looked like to me, tried to move up to the outside lane, and Joey was there. Let's see if that's the case. 09, Joey Clanton, you see the yellow truck, and Mike just decides he's going to go around the outside of Hornaday. Gets hooked by the 09, but Mike was the one changing lanes, Phil.
Yeah, as you could see, he was not right in line with the 33 of Ron Hornaday as he moved up the racetrack. Joey Clanton absolutely did nothing wrong.
Nothing at all.
A lot of guys right behind him did some nice work to avoid Mike, and Mike did a good job after that truck went back up on the racetrack. Take another look.
How many times do you see a guy crash in the middle of the field and nobody hit him? That's a great job by all those other trucks.
I mean, on the second lap of the race, but look what a good job Mike does getting control.
Lines or transmission.
Inside's covered here, 2x2.
You can hear the team trying to discuss with him what it might be. He says everything looks good. In trouble.
Got a little bit of smell like zero, but not bad.
Derek Cope got on the inside in that number 7 Hooters truck, and as soon as he went down,
center of your screen lets up because Hornaday's there, bumps into Brendan Gaughan on the outside, and he crashes, but he never hits anything.
Kenny Schrader just skirts by on the right side of Derek Cope, maybe even made a little bit of contact.
That was just a bad set of circumstances, Rick. He was on the inside of another truck. The truck ahead of him let off. When he backed off, the truck on the outside of him, and he bumped, and there was nothing he could do. He was a victim of circumstances.
Going to get a good view. This is the Fastenal Dodge of Kenny Schrader. Watch that Hooters energy drink right in front of him. You see him make contact.
Little brake check there.
Whoa, what a job by Ken Schrader.
Hold your line right there.
I love the spotters. Just a little break by letting off, but still, even though the guy gives you a break by letting off, as Hornaday decides he's going to go to the bottom. We got a crash.
Joey Clanton has come. He tried to slow down to get onto pit road, and in doing so, he has caused a melee behind him.
Is that Ken Schrader? That's Ken Schrader just going out of our screen. There's Tyler Walker right there, the 36. There's Craig Kinzer, the 47, spinning around. Jason White had a good run going with his gunbroker.com Ford.
Basically, if you're running 15th or back, you just had a chance to be in a big. The 63 truck just didn't get the memo, man.
He couldn't slow down as Joey Clanton was trying to get off the racetrack.
Joey was not off the racetrack yet. He was straddling the yellow line, and they came around there, and the 63, he probably concerned about the guy beside him and didn't see him. Here we go again.
He's driving through these guys to get up there. His spotter should have said, he should have known a lap before the 09's got to pit. His spotter's got to tell him the 09's coming to pit road. He's on the bottom. Go high. And you know, that was a communication problem. If he didn't hear that spotter, or the spotter didn't tell him, that's the spotter's fault.
A lot of times, don't you guys put your hands up in the air saying, hey guys, I've got to go in?
He's not going to see that. Down in the corner, it doesn't matter if he had both arms out the window, Rick. He can't see that. But what he has to have is communication from the top. You know, we knew for 2 laps that the 09 had to pit, and that guy should never have been in this position.
There it is right there. He is coming down pit road, but the 63 of Jason White runs into him.
Nothing that the 09 did wrong. He was dead on the bottom, Phil.
And he was probably waving. But it's very difficult. The 63 of Jason White doesn't have that much experience here at this racetrack. It sounds like he didn't really have that much help maybe from up top.
He basically drove through and around the 00 to hit the 09. So even if the 00 had been or the 09 had been waving his arms, the 63 isn't going to see that.
These are the trucks that were involved in this. The third caution, the third crash.
Pit report, you see Brandon up, that's the reason for the caution flag. We're sitting here thinking how Tripper's really screwed up here, and he's going to end up leading this race.
4 tires, Bob.
I'm glad that Adam was doing that pit report. We didn't have a chance to tell him how bad that they screwed up.
4 tires. Bob, the left front tire is flat.
There's Ted Musgraves on board the Team ASC Toyota. Is that Mike Bliss right there in front of Ted Musgrave?
He is on a mission. Oh, he gets a hold to the truck ahead of him.
There's the 59 spinning around.
Bliss got into the back of the 59, Phil.
He's got dump, boys.
He needs to get that thing down in the grass. The fire will go out if he can get in the grass.
Got a fire there, buddy. Get out of there as quick as you can. Get it to the bottom.
See, Terry has the window net down. Looks like the fire has been extinguished. A little bit of residue.
Bliss might have just used his momentum and run into him. He's under him there. He moves up and catches him in the side.
It looked like Mike may have thought about going through the middle again, and then that hole closed up, and that he ran out of room there, made a slight bit of contact with the left rear corner of the 59.
And then the fire starts.
Bad fire, but it goes out.
Yeah, what a horrible break.
Horrible break for Terry, but a good break for Brandon Knupp, as he's going to get the, look at there, he just got on the inside of him and got into the 59.
Great shot from the Goodyear blimp.
Look at everybody scrambling through the grass, Phil.
It looked like Matt Crafton went down pit road. You're allowed to do that to avoid an accident, but you have to slow down. You cannot maintain your speed of 175 or 80 miles an hour. Look at the super slow motion.
Just barely clips him. I did the same thing to, well, I won't say that. I clipped Dale Jr. the other day. It happens so fast here. When I decided I was going to move up to get behind Dale Jr., and then I realized I didn't have room, from the time I made that decision, I didn't have room, and turned the wheel, it was over. I'd already hit him before I knew what happened. And Mike, it looked like Phil said, attempted to go through the middle, decided better of it, went to move up, and he just clipped the 59 of Terry Cook and caused him to crash his truck.
A lot of great driving, though, right behind this accident. Ted Musgrave avoiding this accident. Carl Edwards avoiding this accident right there at our speed camera.
That's the second or third single truck incident we've had where the truck was right in the middle of the field, and these guys have done a great job of avoiding the wreck.
Watch this.
Did you hear something hit his truck?
Yeah.
Some debris came off his truck. There's Ron Hornaday's onboard camera. DES Solution Chevrolet.
I'm just in front of you. Good job, good job. Come on up.
He's like, good job, and Ron's thinking, I'm not done crashing yet.
I'm in the grass running 180 miles an hour.
Give me a minute here before you start congratulating me.
Boy, I'm glad to know that Terry Cook already got out of this truck as we watch this replay of this truck catching on fire.
He has already had the window net down and was already unbuckling his belts as he was climbing out of that.
38 laps to go, Phil. Do they pit? Can they make it?
Right in the middle of the field right there. Looks like he gets a little contact from Chase Miller in the Ford truck. Does a great job saving that truck. Looked a lot
going on with Jack.
Well, remember on the last pit stop, they put a pound of air pressure up.
Kelly Myers gets spun around in the tri-oval. Getting caught up in that as well. The aid of Blake Bjorklund.
Yeah, Mike Bliss got a piece of that in the 40 truck also.
Mike got enough of that where I think it's going to hurt his truck. Kelly was doing a great job running right up there in that front pack. Blake hit him a ton.
Yeah, Blake Bjorklund was also, but there's the 21 right there, that blue truck on the outside.
Oh, wow. Looked like AJ thought about getting up in line, and it looked like Kelly thought about coming down at the same time.
Yeah, it looked like AJ really drove up the hill quite a bit there. Let's see if we can take another look at it.
I like that first look.
Yeah. Here's another one. They're already obviously made contact. There's the 21 getting hit by the 8 of Blake Bjorklund, and then Mike Bliss comes along with a 40 and makes contact with the number 8 of Blake Bjorklund.
It'll be interesting to see. Phil, check out the 21. He's coming off the wall, going lower, and
there's another view from on top of the grandstands, again already in progress.
And the 00 decides to come off the bottom to go up.
Yeah.
Look at that first.
It did look like that center lane was open, but both of them wanted to fill it at the same time.
Why, you ask yourself?
I was going to ask you that, actually. The Tethers did a great job of holding the hood of the 21 of Kelly Myers on. You see the two meeting in the middle, and this brings out our 6th caution of the night from Daytona.
Going to allow Travis Kvapil to drive by him. I think he had to get out of the throttle, Michael.
He did, and look at the momentum. Oh, and sideways.
Oh, back in the back. That's the 4 of Chase Miller. Chase Miller up on 2 wheels. A hard collision into the wall.
Hey guys, we just crashed.
He came down and made contact with a 75 of Dennis Setzer. He, in turn, ran into Brendan Gaughan. That's Brendan Gaughan, South Point Chevrolet right there. There's Cale Gale, Ron Hornaday's teammate in the RVs.com Chevrolet.
Cale Gale did not hit anything.
Dodges is now out of the race.
Chase just got a little bit loose. He was kind of in the middle. But look at Matt Crafton. You know he had nowhere to go. Look at that truck get up on 2 wheels.
Dennis Setzer also involved in that in the 75.
AJ Allmendinger slipping by, and Darrell's truck there on the bottom. That Red Bull Toyota.
There's another view. He gets a little bit loose coming off of turn number 4, just past gate number 7.
That's when you know you're in trouble, when that thing hooks, Phil.
Yeah, watch him get up on 2 wheels. Actually, all 4 wheels off the ground. He makes a little bit of contact with Dennis Setzer. Dennis tries to avoid him,
and in doing so makes contact with Brendan Gaughan and puts him into the outside wall.
Chain reaction. We've seen it numerous times here at Daytona.
Right,
that camera,
right at our camera.
That camera is bad luck right there.
Look at that truck. It just slides up the hill, and he tries to pull it back down and overcorrects it. Brendan Gaughan with just no place to go. None of those guys, really.
I cannot believe that Matt Crafton did not run into that 4 of Chase Miller.
I promise you, somebody else that can't believe it's Matt Crafton, because it happened so fast.
A lot of damage to the Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet of Dennis Setzer. I'll tell you, that team will have some great runs this year. It's not going to be today. You see all the damage to that truck, but he will have some.
Across the stripe, 1 lap of racing to go. 2.5 miles from Daytona. Travis Kvapil in front of the pack. Jack Sprague, Todd Bodine side by side now as they go to 1.
Did Johnny Benson push Sprague a little earlier than he wanted to go? Johnny made a move early. And Jack jumped out.
You're up down the back here. Don't let either lane get a run on you.
Here comes the 33 of Ron Hornaday, a very strong truck. They're 2x2 behind Kvapil. Can Kvapil hold them off? Now the line on the outside moves faster. Kvapil moves up to block.
Here comes Jack Sprague on the outside.
Back there. Keep splitting your air up.
Into 3 and 4. There's still
give us too much room on the bottom.
Kvapil with an extremely strong truck as he goes through 4. As he comes out of turn number 4, he will see the checkered flag. And Travis Kvapil trying to hold him off. Here we go. Look at Jack Sprague by side. Jack Sprague will win at Daytona.
Jack Sprague made the move. Rick Yardy will bring it home.
Unbelievable finish. It looked as though Travis Kvapil would hold it up. And 3
at the bottom. Yellow flag is out.
Problems in turn number 2 into the wall, the 29. Scott Lynch.
Leaders are down at 4. If you can get it rolling, get it turned around.
See the damage to the back of that Rockstar energy drink Dodge for Scott Lynch. Got him into view there. He was already sideways, backs up into the outside wall. Looks like Andy Lally, that yellow and black truck, did a nice job avoiding Scott Lynch. Here's another view again. Look, he might have had some help by that truck right there going by. Looks like Brian Scott. He was very close to the back of Scott Lynch. Don't know if there was any contact or not.
First caution comes.
It was going to go out to the right, and there wasn't room for him to go out there. He forced it down to the left, and the thing about spun out with it.
There's the problem right there. Kyle Busch, Mike Skinner get into it. The big one happens behind him.
So Rick Crawford just could do. That's P.J. Jones right there, the 63 truck. That was on fire.
I can't believe how crazy they were.
Wow, that's flames blowing.
That's P.J. Jones
over
right
the
there.
top of P.J. Jones's truck.
Looked like he already had the window net down. He's going to try to get to. There's Kyle Busch going through the infield. Chad Chaffin right behind P.J.
Did you see Rick
on the outside? There's Mike Skinner on the inside of Brendan Gaughan. Kyle comes down. Now he's going to move to the inside to try to. Well, you know, it's a little bit maybe Mike Skinner coming up, and Kyle could have come down a little bit, but one of those deals, and here we go, the carnage.
Well, did you see Mike come off 4 the lap before? He fought that truck to keep it coming, keep it from going up the hill. He didn't have a choice. He couldn't turn left and get off of Kyle Busch, and when Kyle moved over, Mike already had it turned as hard as he could.
There's another view right here. You see Mike Skinner left of your screen. Kyle's going to come down a little bit to try to get by that number 8, and Mike Skinner looked like he just went up a little bit, and just enough to catch that left rear quarter of that 51 truck of Kyle Busch. This is a great view from the DirecTV blimp right here.
Oh, look at Chad Chaffin coming in there late, and John Wood too. All but had it missed. But Phil, no matter how slow you're going, you can't see through the smoke.
Now we can see here that they were going to run into somebody, but they can't do it from track level.
Yeah, you could see Skinner just pushed a little bit up off that corner, just like he had done off 4 the lap before, trying to hold it down. The thing just the front end got away from him, and Kyle changed lanes. If Kyle doesn't change lanes, Mike doesn't hit him. But Kyle figured it was fair to change lanes.
Yeah, Kyle was just running through the center. He wanted to move to the inside of Chad McCumbee, and unfortunately, when Mike Skinner eased up the racetrack a little bit, they made the contact, and this is what ensued.
Look at that violence. Parts and pieces flying, trucks on fire.
Look at Jack Sprague. Jack Sprague trying to make his way through there.
I tell you what, Rick Crawford came through right behind that 63 that was on fire. It's amazing that he didn't hit anything.
Kyle Busch gets out of this deal free, too. He didn't hit anything either. He's fine.
That's going to keep it out of the inside wall. Going to do a couple 360s, and away he goes.
This is where we were riding along when this all happened.
Outside.
As Kyle came down the hill a little bit, Mike couldn't keep off of him.
Oh, big wreck.
There's Matt Crafton right behind Mike. You saw Brendan Gaughan for a moment.
Can't believe how crazy they were.
Jack Sprague making his way through there in the 2 truck.
Jack Sprague looks like he's got some damage to that nose, Phil.
Well, here's Ted Musgrave's view right here.
3 wide. Still 3 wide.
Teddy got a piece of that.
Yeah, big piece. That probably busted his radiator and tore his truck up quite a lot.
We're in it, guys. I can't tell.
That wreck is out of everybody's mind right now. They're already 3 wide again.
Yeah, they're racing. They're racing.
And now they're early on, too. The 71 of Mike Bliss goes up the racetrack. He was hit. And now Colin Brown in the 6 is involved in this one.
There was contact with the 09 of Joey Clanton, and I think maybe the 71 of Mike Bliss that may have precipitated this. A lot of damage there to Colin Brown's truck. Looked like he just darted down a little bit, maybe lost control of that truck for a little bit. It darted to the inside, caught Mike Bliss, that 71 truck, in a right rear corner.
And it looked like Bliss, at the same time, it was another one of those driving situations where one was coming up, the other one's coming down at the same time.
See if we can look at.
Again, you were talking about him being 3 wide right away. You see Mike? Oh. Looked like Mike Bliss was holding his line that time, Michael.
And it looked like Clanton got a little bit loose. The truck then darted to the inside and hung into the right rear of Bliss and turned him up the hill.
Rick Crawford did another nice job avoiding that. Looked like something came off one of those trucks, though, and hit his truck on the right side.
Johnny Benson also a great save in that number 23, the red truck, just behind the 9 here.
Ooh, look at the 9 of Justin Marks get through there, and JB locking the brakes up to keep him running in the back of Colin Brown.
There, the 14 and the 33 also making their way down on the inside of the racetrack, and here, very close call.
Here's going to be a good close-up view of it. You see Mike Bliss on the bottom now. He's going to come off the yellow line a little bit, but watch that 09 truck. Look, watch and see if that truck doesn't kind of dart left.
Right there, it sure did, Phil.
He just got loose, Phil, and it went down the inside. And you know what I talked about before the race started, Rick? Let's see what Clayton sees.
3 wide still.
Oh, he just...
Still 3 wide.
You know, I talked about before the race.
How
these
bad
guys...
is it, buddy? 71 lost to put us up in a wall.
Well...
That's his perspective.
Yeah, probably not exactly what happened, but
but remember before the race, the guys were all confident about how their trucks drove all through practice.
Bringing out a caution, sure enough, Scott Lagasse Jr. issues with that number 20.
Looks like maybe a right front tire could have gone down. We don't know if he ran over something.
Take another look. This is from the DirecTV blimp. Up into the wall, you saw the number 20.
Yeah, it took a hard ride. So something, he either ran over something, cut that tire down, or something else broke. There he goes right there. Tough break for Scott Lagasse Jr. He was riding around in great shape. That Nicholson group Ford had a good shot at a good strong top 10 finish. Watch him all the way down at the bottom of the racetrack. Tire goes down into the outside wall.
And that's quite a climb again.
In that second pack on the inside.
Wow.
Sideways, down onto the apron, and then was then able to grab it back and hold it from moving up the racetrack.
That's when you
go over 55 miles an hour.
3 trucks running nose to tail here. Todd Bodine, Eric Darnell, and Justin Marks.
Well, we know how important tires are here at Daytona. Kyle Busch and that team, I believe Richie Waters and those guys. Oh, what's going on with Darnell?
Problem with Darnell. He slows down, catches the 9 of Justin Marks. He'll slide right in front of Johnny Benson. Benson's through there unscathed, but the problem happens as they turn onto pit road.
Something was wrong with Eric Darnell. I think he was going to try to make his way to pit road, and I don't see him waving right there. He tried to stay as low as he could. He was right next to the yellow line, but unfortunately for Justin Marks, they made some contact, and Eric caught Justin up against the outside wall.
I believe our 3rd place truck, as we watch these guys try to get to pit road, and Justin's doing a heck of a job. He's got his truck tore all to pieces, but he's still hammering along. I believe Richie Waters put 4 tires on that 51 truck.
Just caught the back of that.
Look at Johnny Benson go through the middle.
We know the leader's got 2 tires.
Bodine in front of Kyle Busch. When and where will they make the move?
Todd's keeping that truck right down on the yellow line. He said if they're going to pass me, they're going to have to do it on the high side.
Coming out of turn number 2, this is where all the excitement has taken place this evening. as they come out onto the backstretch. Who will make the move? Todd Bodine continuing to lead the pack. It's just a matter of time. You can see Kyle Busch all over the back bumper. Aaron Crocker moved to the inside to avoid it. A big run by Todd Bodine. Can Kyle Busch catch him?
The 51 coming to the checkers.
The 51 laid back off of him, Phil. Here's the run that he's looking for. Johnny Busch and Vincent's going to push. They're going to be
outside. To the outside goes Kyle Busch, but it's Todd Bodine crossing the start-finish line in front of Kyle Busch and Johnny Benson.
Daytona, boys. That's the way I started off. And there's a
what we've got, he said, I know, I've watched these races, I know how many times there's a big one. He said, I want to finish this race, and now he's in it. He's spinning out on the racetrack.
Brian Scott right in the middle of a three-wide situation. He gets it pointed the right direction. The caution comes out. And you see that 40, that's Mike Bliss. A new sponsor coming on board just for this race.
And then Brett Raymer, this 85 truck, actually moved up a little bit. And then really Brian had nowhere to go because TJ Bell was coming down.
And look, Brian spins out right in the middle of the pack and just drives off. The guy that really got the most damage in that crash was Bliss.
There's another view right here. Watch the 11 go to the outside.
And watch the 85. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. 85 hits a bump, moves up. Scott has to move up. Boom.
And TJ was coming down at the same time.
Now the field has been picked up by the pace truck, and this is going to be our first sight of what's going to take place with the pit stops, the new rule change. We're going to take another look here at why Brian Scott's turned around.
Great job by TJ Bell. He got hit in the left rear quarter panel hard, but he was able to maintain control of his truck.
Yeah, that 32 truck of our average. Watch out, Johnny Benson.
Wow, very close again. Johnny Benson right in the middle. He's got Kyle Busch on his inside. He's got Johnny Sauter on his outside, and they continue 3-1.
Oh, we got a crash in the tri-oval. James Busher got turned. Big crash.
Oh, and now coming up behind him, we've got quite a few more trucks that are moving into the smoke and can't see where they're going.
Johnny
Benson, one of those trucks.
Ricky Carmichael got hit. That was just a situation where Busher had gotten touched in the left rear quarter panel. I was watching this develop.
Yeah. That's Johnny Benson saying, sorry, fellas, we're done.
James Busher was running second when they crossed.
Todd Bodine, I think.
Yeah, James is on the outside of the 33 of Hornaday. It looks like Todd drifts up the hill, gets into him a little bit, turns him sideways.
James was perfect. He was up beside Hornaday racing for the lead, and Todd just, and you know, we talked about how difficult it is to race a truck through the tri-oval. Todd couldn't get his truck turned, and he got into the left rear of Busher.
They call it a straightaway, but it's really not. It's an 18-degree banked turn.
There goes Johnny.
Johnny was trying to make his way back to the pits, and then obviously had an oil line or something ruptured, and that caught fire for a moment. He just turned her down on the grass. Here's another view here. There's a contact right there. Watch this now.
What if you're James Busher, 18 years old, racing for the lead at Daytona, and get taken out by a veteran? That's got to make you scratch your head. He's the one that's supposed to make the mistake. But that just goes to show again how difficult it is to get through this trial.
30s with you on your bumper, 30s with you.
We're talking about 3 feet. Todd drifted up about 3 feet, and that's when he made the contact with James Busher. James was trying to side draft off of Ron Hornaday.
4 on your bumper, big spart here.
Oh man, Ricky Carmichael.
Behind you here, big time.
Just barely.
And Todd just drives away.
Side.
You heard Johnny Sauter.
2 or 3 of them that have tried to move up top and get a group together. They go, oh, wow.
A big hit there for the 85. That was Brent Raymer sliding into the wall.
Throttle's hung wide open, too. He's going to hit it again.
Right back in front of the few trucks. Like you mentioned, that throttle being hung took him right back into the wall.
And that's no safer barrier there. That's concrete.
Yeah, Brent was doing the truck come off the corner. This is the previous lap. See, it gets sideways, Mikey.
Oh,
he does a nice job saving it.
And it looks like the crash is just a replay of that.
Yeah.
Only a little bit worse.
Now let's see what happens now. Look, he's going to be right up your screen. Ooh, hard contact, and there wasn't another truck anywhere near him. It looks like something may have broken on his truck or something to sit in the wall like that. Or maybe did he get loose and maybe overcorrected?
Yeah, it looked like if what happened the lap before happened again, he might not have been as fortunate with his save. Now watch this thing pound the wall one more time.
Again, as you mentioned, no safer barriers, but the good news is
right on the bottom and then overcorrected, shot right across the racetrack into the outside wall.
I mentioned good news. Brent Raymer is climbing out of that truck.
See him right there going straight back into the outside wall. Skinner, Hornaday with him.
That outside line is moving now. Todd Bodine in front of him. Now let's see what Kyle Busch does.
I think Kyle Busch said, I think this is a place.
Oh, problems behind him though. The 23, the 24. David Starr involved. The 23 of Jason White.
The 14 of Rick Crawford also involved. Mike gets sideways, runs into the 14 of Rick Crawford, puts him in the outside wall. David Starr had nowhere to go.
You know, it looked like he just got loose. Jason White just started to turn just a bit.
It may have been a tire or something go down. We're hearing reports that there was a noise that they heard on the backstretch. Watch Jason now, right up your screen. See the smoke already before. I think the right rear tire went, Michael.
I think he blew out a tire. What a great run for Jason White, too. He'd been in that lead pack, qualified up in the A spot. He had his gunbroker.com truck in the lead pack all night long. Side of Todd Bodine on the back straightaway.
Will Terry make it 3 wide, though, and go for the win himself? Here comes somebody on the outside.
That's J.R. Fitzpatrick out there in the 7. Looks like he's going to try to fall back in line, though, just in front of Taylor Malsom.
Hornaday's peeking to the outside. He tucks back in.
Who's going to make the move? Right now, the 51 of Kyle Busch all over the back bumper. He moves to the outside. Looks like he gets loose. Drops back just a bit. Now as they work their way coming out of turn number 4. A huge lead for Todd Bodine.
It isn't enough.
Catch him.
It isn't enough, is it?
Todd Bodine is going to be able to hold up the pack. He'll win again at Daytona.
Woo!
Wow, what a job by Todd.
He pushing and shoving, Phil. Ricky Carmichael gets a good run on the start here and gives Elliott Sadler a shove down into turn 1.
That 3 Chevrolets ganging up on the outside.
Right now, Jason doesn't have any help. Austin Dillon's trying to scramble to get to the back bumper of that gunbroker.com Ford.
Side by side as they go down the backstretch. Elliott Sadler leading the outside line. Here comes Ricky Carmichael behind him. Now they fan out 3 wide as they get into 3.
Wow, those trucks are
trouble already. Austin Dillon in it, as well as Johnny Sauter. The 18 of Kyle Busch is also involved.
98. Oh, look at this truck. The 10.
Jennifer Jo Cobb also involved. A big accident getting into turn number 3. Landon Castle in the 98 also with damage.
Justin Lofton the 7. There's the 15 of Ted Musgrave.
Huge crash.
Trying to get into turn number 3. You see the damage of the Bass Pro Shop Chevy Silverado. Austin Dillon driving that truck.
Well, we crashed at 60 miles.
First of all, they're 3 wide. They get 3 wide here on the back straightaway. You can see the 51 truck.
The 55
gets a run on Austin Dillon. Austin starts to kind of come over a little bit to block him.
They touch, and then Austin starts wiggling, and then he catches Johnny Sauter up against the wall. Kyle Busch comes along. The 15 of Ted Musgrave with nowhere to go. The 98 of Landon Castle runs into his teammate Johnny Sauter.
That was just tight racing. 3 wide on the first darn lap.
See right there, you see the 3 start wiggling, and then he's going to lose control. His left front tire was locked up.
Series champion.
Look at Kyle Busch all up in the middle of it. Does a great job of surviving it. Too bad for Landon Castle. Just came along a little bit late. And here's Jennifer Jo. She's going a little bit faster, but darn, you can't see, Phil.
Hey, this is a view I like right now, where you're going to see Eric Almirola will pull out. He's going to be side by side with Austin Dillon. Austin kind of creeps over a little bit, and they touch, and it gets Austin to wiggling, and he just gets behind in his steering a little bit, and then the thing heads towards the outside wall, takes Johnny Sauter with him.
You know, when I talk to my young drivers or anybody talks about Daytona, you don't ever want to get surprised. You got to constantly be looking in your mirror, looking around all around you so that nothing surprises you. When a truck sneaks 3 wide on you on the back straightaway, if it surprises you, it can cause a problem. I don't know that Austin was surprised, but it almost seemed like he just got in a bind there and couldn't get out of it.
Let's get another vantage point of this. This is after Austin has already got up into the wall.
Rick Crawford just narrowly avoids it in the 14 Lilly Trucking.
Hit the outside wall pretty hard.
Yeah. After he already made contact. There's Nelson Piquet Jr. getting by, doing a nice job with no damage with that Red Horse truck.
2 trucks involved from Thor Sport Racing. Johnny Sauter as well as Landon Castle. Here we ride along with Rick Crawford.
3 wide ahead of you.
Wow, look at Rick. He's just
easy, back it down, stay low.
digging.
Nice job by Rick Crawford.
This is Kyle's vantage point.
He's all up in the middle of it.
I'm trying to move here. Check it right in front of you.
Kyle had a huge run and was trying to go to that high side.
With Austin Dillon there, Rick.
In that 18 is 19 laps down, involved in the incident at the first lap.
Not anymore, he's not.
He's 18 laps down as he goes by our race leader, Mike Skinner.
You know, you ask why he's out there? Because he's got corporate sponsors on the side of that truck. And also, he'd like to think...
Oh, Hornaday's in the wall.
Hornaday into the wall in the backstretch. Now Ricky Carmichael also in the 4, spinning. The 51 of Eric Almirola caught up in this. There's Johnny Benson in the 95 trying to avoid.
What a job by Nelson Piquet Jr. too, Phil.
Second time he's done a great job. Look at the Carmichael. They get a bump there from Ricky Carmichael, and it may turn him.
No, I think he had a flat.
I think he had a flat tire. I don't think Ricky Carmichael ever touched him.
No, it looked like that's what it was setting up to be, but Hornaday just veered to the right. I was going down the back straightaway the other day in my cup car and blew a left rear tire, and it just drove right to the infield. He might have blown a right rear tire, and it pulled him right into the outside wall. You know, so much.
Watch, we're going to see before Ricky Carmichael gets there, that 33 truck's going to veer to the right.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
It's pretty close.
But I think from the other angle, it didn't look like Hornaday ever, or excuse me, Ricky ever touched him. See if we can get a better look at that.
Nelson
look at
Piquet
Neil. That's an amazing job Nelson Piquet did there.
Let's keep an eye on it now. Boy, it almost looked from that angle like there might have been a slight contact.
If we could look back at that first one and really see, it looked like from the first look we saw from it, Ricky didn't hit him. You can see the right rear tire's down on Ron's truck right there. I think
riding along with Elliott Sadler.
Keep coming on the bottom. Keep coming low, low, low. Keep coming low. That's good.
Nelson Piquet slipping by there. That's an amazing job that young man did.
Good job.
Ryan Sieg getting by as well.
Here's Crawford's view.
Well, just right in front of him. Through the grass.
Hold it straight. Hold it straight. Back up.
Again, coming right at us.
Boy, I'm telling you, from that angle, it almost looks like there was a little bit of contact, and that got right wiggling.
Let's look at what we saw the first time.
Yeah, this is from the blimp. Let's look one more time to see if there was any contact. Again, we're looking at the 4 and the 33.
He's going to pull up on him for sure.
I don't think so, Phil.
Boy, if there was contact, it was oh so slight.
Well, and I just think I think Ron had a flat tire. I really do.
It looks like right when the 4 gets to the back bumper of that truck, it starts to move to the right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so close.
Adam Alexander. And it's slow race truck.
I blew a right front tire.
Closing rate. So amazing. Oh, Mike Skinner gets wild. He gets into the outside wall, trying to keep it off the inside line. He goes into the outside wall. Jason White slows and looks like there was no contact, but a very close call for him. The caution has come out one
go.
Yeah. Into the wall and then right back into the wall, and then coming in here, the 39 is trying to stop.
Oh, both those guys. Jason White gets into the outside wall. Looked like lightly, though. He might be okay, but he definitely got into the wall.
There's another view here from the
now, do you see
turn 3 camera.
You see how different what Ricky Carmichael did to Ron was than that? You could tell Timothy Peters got a hold to Mike, and he just didn't let him go. That's a bad mistake.
Lifted the back end off the ground. I mean, that was what happened with Mike Skinner here. Oh, how close for the 12 of Mario Goslin, just clearing that.
You know, you wish that these drivers could be up here and watch what we watch, or see the replays, because I'm telling you, if they would have seen the replays with Ron Hornaday's incident, this incident would have never happened.
Oh, he just watch. You can see that how this looks so much different than the last time we had this problem on the back straight. We can see how long they're tied together, and it just knocks Mike right out of the way.
And guys, remember, Timothy Peters is trying to help Mike Skinner. He's not trying to hurt him. He's not trying to turn him around. He's trying to help him.
That looked like pretty significant hit.
Welcome back. TireMonkey.com driver Mario Goslin has brought out our 6th caution of the night. Look at the damage to the front of this race truck.
Yeah, tremendous amount of damage to that Chevrolet. He was racing
inside of that.
See there, he catches, gets Nelson, and then
up the track he goes. And
that is so wild.
At first it looked like maybe he was going to, some pretty significant contact to the inside wall. Looks like he was trying to get in line behind him, and then he couldn't get in line, and then they may have got hooked together or something.
It's like it ran him up the, he got sideways a little bit there, and it runs him up the hill, and he just loses control. And look, this is a game of inches sometimes. This case, it's a couple of feet, but darn, if he could have just missed it there, he had a lot more room to slide after that. That was weird looking, wasn't it?
Sure was. Tough break for Mario, though. Had a great run going on the heels of a great 6th place run at Talladega.
Check it out here. If he could just not hit there.
Whoa, and that thing hit hard,
too.
Head on.
Luckily, everybody did a good job of getting her locked down and keeping it from coming way up in the road. Tire monkeys.
Here's Mario Goslin. Great sight.
Yeah.
Climbing out of that race truck. Take a look at this real time.
See if we can figure this out, Phil. They get together once, and maybe it just gets them up too high in the tri oval.
Well, we've seen cars go through the tri oval, you know, way up high like that before, right up against the walls.
It might have knocked him out to the right, and then when he's turning to the left to gain control, it just spun out with him.
Here's another look here. Remember, that's Nelson Piquet on the inside. Looks like I thought Mario was going to try to get in that hole right there. Didn't quite make it. Hard contact with the inside wall.
Hard to explain.
And again, great to see Mario Goslin climbing.
Watch Max on the outside. Going to be some more bump drafting. Is it Nelson Piquet Jr.?
Nelson Piquet Jr. in the number 1.
Wow. I just wish these guys had the advantage of watching all these replays and all these incidents. Max had such a great truck, had led this race, had raced up front, and unfortunately that Geico Toyota's not going to be around for the finish.
Both those guys raced a little bit of Formula One, Phil. I wonder if they ever had problems over there. You could see Nelson's front end was moving toward the inside of the track when he actually bumped Max, which certainly isn't the way to go about doing that.
Got a bit of a Formula One connection there. Obviously, 3-time world champion Nelson Piquet, father to...
1 lap of racing to go. Todd Bodine trying to make it 3 in a row from Daytona. Timothy Peters wants to win on a super speedway, running second.
Still in line.
Timothy Peters it'd be ideal if he was a truck length or two behind him, Phil. He can't get a run stuff right on his bumper. He'll just push Todd.
He needs some momentum.
Down the backstretch.
Jason
White moves out of line. Timothy Peters moved out. Todd Bodine scrapes the wall. Timothy Peters goes to the bottom of the racetrack to take the lead.
Todd got hit, went high, but kept his foot in the gas. Katie Rowley from the outside.
Jason's helping him on the outside.
Side by side, coming through 3 and 4. The tri-oval is all that is left. A little contact. Timothy Peters is wild coming up to the line. Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona.
Oh,
they crashed behind him. Todd Bodine crossed the stripe in second, got sideways, and now Johnny Benson is in him.
Wow.
What a great job by Timothy Peters.
Timothy Peters took advantage of Todd Bodine sliding up the racetrack.
He got knocked up the racetrack.
And Todd Bodine comes home in second. Timothy Peters wins at Daytona.
Unbelievable. We talked about him coming into his own last year. Well, he put a...
Applaud him for this. He got to run. He said, I'm going somewhere. Timothy said, well, I want to go with you. And he gets Todd, hits Todd in the back, sends Todd up high.
Todd fought back, though, never let it off the throttle.
What about Todd? Sideways, heading toward the outside wall. Wide open, baby.
Thought maybe right here Todd might have had an advantage on the outside, but he went a little bit wide, lost about a half a truck length.
And then the reason why Timothy won, look in the sensor. He's pushing him, giving him the momentum he needed to stay ahead of Todd Bodine.
Another amazing finish from Daytona International Speedway.
That was amazing, Rick. You're right.
And Timothy Peters.
You guys talk to each other on the radio.
Oh, trouble!
Man.
Into the wall.
Keep coming.
Hard impact.
Tosses out.
Joey Coulter in the 22 truck.
That Chevy Silverado into the wall hard. Joey Coulter.
Blew a tire, Harold.
Yeah, he blew a tire.
Let me get out of the racetrack. You're okay. Come on, everybody sees you. They're all bringing back down. They're all backing down.
Yeah, that thing blew a tire right dead right.
Thank goodness for those safer barriers.
Can you believe that, Phil? If they can hit those walls today like they do and just come on in and
we heard Joey. It didn't even knock the breath out of him.
Didn't knock the breath out of him or anything.
Out of that top spot, let's look back at what just took place.
And lucky for everybody
right
else.
Screen, that's the black number 22. Timothy Peters, the 17, right behind him. Just Boy, the timing was absolutely perfect. It just blew. He got out of the way. Timothy Peters was able just to keep his line and drive right on by. Here's another view. You see the piece of rubber fly around, undoubtedly ran over something. We really haven't had any tire issues whatsoever here. Goodyear brought such a great...
He finished third in his 150 yesterday, so I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing.
I remember trying to get Travis Kvapil to win here as he came off the turn 4 and looked like he had the lead that no one was.
Problems. Travis Kvapil involved in this one. He gets sideways, and now they pile up behind him.
Hornaday's in it. Brendan Gaughan is in it.
Looks like Todd Bodine potentially in it as well.
Look at all these
trucks
in the back.
They're not done wrecking yet.
Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Max Pappas, all in this. TJ Bell had such a good run going. He's in it.
Todd Bodine, a lot of damage to that race truck. The 4th caution comes out, and it is the big one.
Heard somebody's radio, and I believe it might have been Travis Kvapil that said he lost a tire.
Travis was right in front.
And then the aftermath. Then they start wrecking behind him with Max and Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton all getting involved.
When you're this close together, yeah, you see Kvapil's truck just take off.
And ahead of steam.
That might have been a left rear tire that went down.
He had a left front down, and it didn't appear that the rights were. It appeared the rights were okay.
Yeah, the left rear looked like it had quarter panel damage even before it got to the outside wall.
Might have gotten into something, Phil, and knocked a piece of sheet of fender or something in and cut that tire down. Knocked a piece of sheet of fender or something in and cut that tire down.
Take a look real time.
Hold your breath.
Keep your eye on the 5.
Pretty crazy right here. 5's that yellow truck right there, about 5th or 6th back. Takes off up the hill and collects all these oncoming trucks. You're just along for the ride. You can't see. You don't know where everybody is. You see Crafton back here. He gets run into by the 20.
Joe Hennel.
Kyle and his group said, we will help him fix his truck because I felt like it was my fault.
How about Matt Crafton made a run up through the middle, got by Kyle Busch and Eric Almirola. Remember, he was involved in that incident. Yeah, looks like it hasn't hurt his truck too much.
For whatever reason, that 18 truck doesn't have a lot of speed in it. He just
problems.
Here we go.
Got the 77 around. The 81 of David Starr also goes around.
Hold the brake.
Justin Lofton in the 77. Now we're seeing David Starr in that 81 go backwards. Also saw the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb make the hard left turn and go down pit road.
For Jo Cobb, and she was definitely slowing down. There's another view. You see the 77 wobbling, and that throws him out into the outside into David Starr. Look at Jennifer Jo. What a nice decision she made to go down pit road.
Saw that 81 of David Starr coming in front of her. Held it hard left and went right down pit road, slowed down.
Up behind him.
More Steve coming out of that 18 truck.
Kyle Busch tries to cheat to the outside to get some air. You heard him say, got to get down.
Ahead here, slow truck ahead.
That's going to hurt the performance of that 18. That when that thing gets so hot and it finally loses enough water, it'll hurt the performance of it. It'll start to detonate.
So give me some air, and you still see the steam rolling out at the base of the windshield of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Is he going to get shuffled out of the way? Here comes the 31 of James Buescher up the middle.
I don't know if there's any room, but there trouble.
They go.
Problems as they go through the triangle. Austin Dillon is caught up in it. The 31 of Buescher's caught up in it.
That's the rest of the field.
They're all in it. They're all in it.
There's only 2 guys left running.
The 2 that made it through, Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip. Take a look at the cars, trucks that are still under their own power.
Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, Miguel Paludo.
Chris Fontaine in the 84.
How about Austin Dillon? Look at all the damage on that 3 truck of Austin Dillon's.
There was some heavy contact. The 18 has got damage and looks like a steam engine. And Buddy, when he did.
Here's another view. Watch behind the blue truck now. Watch behind the blue truck.
He'll catch the 29 of Parker Kligerman.
I don't think the 51 was into the back of him, DW.
It almost looked like the 32 and the 18 made some contact.
Blocks the track, and nobody had anywhere to go. Ricky Carmichael did a nice job going down through the grass to avoid that.
About a $500,000 junkyard right there. We just keep looking at this. We'll figure it out. The 31 is going to squeeze in right here, and this is what starts to create the commotion. Looking.
Yeah, here we're going to, you see Buescher start wobbling there a little bit.
Little bit of movement,
What's the, maybe the 93 of Cole Witt may have got into Brad Sweet possibly. Yep. Right into his left rear corner. How about Miguel Paludo, that white truck, avoiding that's going to end up in the 3rd spot when they get to turn 1.
But Phil, you know, when they start moving around like that, all that movement, you really don't have control of your truck.
You talked about at the very opening of the show. You run just as fast on that portion of the racetrack. It's only banked 18 degrees.
The things really get free and light coming through there.
3 wide here. Looking to make it 3 wide. Hold your line up top. Wrecking.
Yeah, that lick, whoever was under the 31 got into the 31 and I think may have started that. And we think it may have been Cole Witt. It takes too many laps to get there from the outside.
Coming out of 4. White flag will be in the air. One more time around Daytona. Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, 1 and 2.
It's going to be between those two guys. They have actually gapped everybody else. So I think it's going to be between them. And boy, Michael's getting a little aggressive now. He's starting to work that back bumper.
I thought he was going to pick the rear wheel off the ground.
Yeah, he's not going to give it to him. He said, you're going to have to earn it, dude.
They've pulled away from the pack. Down the back stretch they go. Can the pack catch them by the time they get out of turn 4?
Remember, the next flag will end this race.
Look at how Michael's got the whole back end of the 2 truck of Sadler off the ground.
Into 3 and 4. Elliott Sadler looking for his 2nd win in the Camping World Trucks. Michael Waltrip has never won in a truck, but he's won here twice.
Here he comes.
To the finish line.
He got him. Mikey, you got him.
You got it.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Hey, guys, look at the rear spoiler on Mikey's truck.
Waltrip,
he doesn't have a rear spoiler,
has won his first ever Camping World Truck Series race 10 years to the day of his first Daytona 500
I can't believe I'm up here doing this race, and he's out there doing what he does, and here we are again, 10 years later.
I don't know.
There was I wasn't implying anything.
Look, this is always trouble when you get a slow truck and these guys have to go 3 wide. They're used to running around 2 side by side, and when you got to go 3, look at all moving around.
Oh, there right there.
Paulie Haraka got sideways and took Jason Leffler right with him.
Dakota Armstrong, the 98 trucks into the outside wall. A lot of trucks coming down pit road to avoid that incident.
Dakota just had minor damage there.
Yep, coming out of turn number 4, Jason Leffler caught up in it in the 18. But coming out of turn number 4, a little bit loose. Early on, we saw it was the 5 of Paulie Haraka. There's the damage to that race truck.
Anytime something's different, Rick, something happens that messes up your rhythm, then you run the risk of having this happen. That's exactly what the slower truck didn't do anything wrong. He was getting up to speed right on the bottom. These guys came upon him, had to start making some evasive moves, and when you exit forward, that's not the place to be making an evasive move.
See Chris Cockerman in the 93. You see Brendan able to get by, Justin Lofton able to get by. Watch Paulie Haraka. He gets a little bit loose there, even before he got to that truck.
Yeah, it looked like he maybe went up the hill because of the slower truck and then went to go back down a little bit because he didn't want to crowd Leffler, and that got him sideways. These things turn around so quickly. Paulie's not used to this stuff. He's used to racing on short tracks. This is all new to him, and that thing just hopped around on him. And unfortunately, took a guy that I thought might could have won the race tonight, and Jason Leffler with him.
Jason looked awfully good in practice yesterday. Did a lot of pushing around. Here's another view. See Paulie get sideways. He makes contact with that lap truck on the inside and then forces Jason Leffler into the outside wall. Watch these trucks do such a great job of avoiding. There's Austin Dillon also going down pit road to avoid this incident.
And Dakota Armstrong was all over the place. He just barely bumped the wall. I think he's going to be just fine.
Austin Dillon was watching his brother Ty Dillon fly down pit road.
I knew I was going to make that mistake.
Watch this move. And look at Jason Leffler. Sometimes wrecks are just unavoidable. And that was okay. Watch this 98 truck of Dakota Armstrong. He's sideways. Okay, I'm going the right way again.
And there's the wall. The wall there just before the start-finish line.
That won't hurt him, though. That truck will be fine.
Coming out of turn 4, here's the incident.
Just take a look at this incident from Ty's truck. Watch him now. He's going to see the smoke and everything in front of him. The spotter's going to tell him off the throttle instantly. And he sees the racetrack blocked. He's got a perfectly wide pit road to go down.
It's a good feeling when you look up ahead and there's pit road there. Watch Johnny Sauter. Let's see where he goes. You could see his teammate, Dakota Armstrong.
Come on down pit road. Reduce your speed. You're clear of the accident. Reduce your speed. You got one about 3.
The rookie overreacted, Phil. He saw that truck spinning, and he jerked his truck, and that spun him around. The veteran just backed off the gas and made his way down pit road. So sometimes wrecks are just unavoidable. And that was, okay, watch this 98 truck of Dakota Armstrong. He's sideways. Okay, I'm going the right way again.
And
oh, there's the wall.
The wall there just before the start-finish line.
That won't hurt him, though. That truck will be fine.
Coming out of turn 4, here's the incident.
Oh, sideways. Got to crash in the
33 of Cale Gale into the wall. It looks as though he collected the 8 of Mike Skinner as well. Damage to both of those trucks.
See if we can take a look at what happens here.
Oh, end finger moves up a little bit. Is that right?
Looked like was that end finger or was that Clay Greenfield? And the other red truck, number 68.
One of the red truck moved up, and Cale Gale was there. It bounced Cale sideways. Got some trucks coming to pit roads.
Take another look. Real time as they're coming into the tri-oval. It's the 7.
It's the 7 of John King. Another one of the red trucks that moved up the racetrack into Cale Gale.
Look at Matt Crafton.
Around goes the 32 and hard into the wall. Miguel Paludo hard into the wall coming out of turn number 4.
Very reminiscent of Danica's accident in the duel.
He's the second car on the second truck on the inside line.
Wow, maybe he let off the. Maybe he made an evasive action there because of PK Jr.
Wow,
what the violence.
What an impact.
How violent that was.
That truck weighs 3,700 pounds, and it flies up in the air like that and catches on fire, and yet.
And we saw how quickly Miguel Paludo had put the window net down, was taking his helmet off. Amazing.
I think he got in the back of Nelson Piquet Jr. and when he did, that slowed his momentum, and that's, I think, James Busher got into him. Watch this now.
Look.
It's hard to see. You can see right there.
You could see Piquet get a little bit sideways. That's real-time speed right there.
But I don't know if those trucks make high. I know Piquet got sideways, and then all of a sudden Paludo gets sideways, and these trucks handle well enough. It's hard to understand how this could have happened.
Watch how close now Paludo gets to Piquet.
I think he just made I think the leader just got loose, and Paludo just made an.
As they go into turn number 3.
Got Hornaday and the 2 of Brendan Gaughan hooked up now.
Oh, sliding. The 29 is going to go around as well as the 81. David Starr goes to the inside.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
We saw Parker Kligerman.
A little bit of damage, not too bad.
29 sliding early in this one. The caution will come out once again, the 6th time tonight. Also involved Ross Chastain in the 08, as well as Brian Silas in that 99.
I just didn't see how we could get to the end without having something like this happen.
There was no way. Now what do we do at the front? Jason White's leading. His pusher is going to be on the outside. I think Johnny Sauter is now in trouble. I think John King closes right back up to the back of Jason White, and John King is good enough to push Jason. I think Johnny's in trouble.
Parker Kligerman, left front damage on that 29. The 81 of David Starr also went around. He's going to have some damage.
If our scoring monitor is correct, Johnny Sauter's going to have Ron Hornaday behind him. He knows how to push. He pushed for the entire race at Talladega last October.
When the caution came out, we had 6 laps of racing to go.
Looked like Dusty Davis came down to the middle. Parker Kligerman on the 29 had committed to the middle, and then Dusty Davis moved down the hill.
Look at the job Ty Dillon does, barely squeaking by Brian Silas.
Rick Crawford back there as well in the 73, sneaking through that incident. Here, watch the 3 of Ty Dillon in the middle.
I don't think Parker Kligerman had any idea Dusty Davis was going to make that move. And watch Ty Dillon, barely misses Kligerman, barely misses Silas.
An incredible job.
How close was it for Ty Dillon? Let's ride along and see.
Trying to build, clear high. Bottom lane, middle lane's rolling here. 4 wide ahead of you. Be easy, be easy.
1,
check up.
2.
Come on, watch out. Get down. Check up. Come on.
We missed 3 trucks there, Phil.
Yeah, it sounded like Billy O'Day, Kevin Harvick's spot for Ty.
He sounded like an auctioneer there for a while. Check up. Low.
But I think we heard that Kevin Hamlin was spotting one of RCR's spotters.
So Ty Dillon, a close call, but still a truck without scratches on it yet. Chris hands of Jason White coming into the tri-oval. Green flag back in the air. Green-white checkered for the trucks to start off 2012.
How about Mr. Restart, Ron Hornaday? We know he knows when to go, and he's got a hold to Johnny Sauter right now, and he's going to push Johnny Sauter ahead of Jason White.
We know how Ron Hornaday knows how to push. He pushed Mike Walsh to the win at Talladega. Jason White's fighting back in the bottom.
Those two are locked up on the high side. Can Johnny Sauter move down? He does. He moves in front of Jason White. He'll take the top spot now as they go down the backstretch. Less than 2 laps to go at Daytona.
If I'm Jason White, I get a hold of Johnny Sauter here and try to push him home. Temperatures won't matter anymore. He can shove him all the way to the checkered.
We heard James Busher say earlier, I don't want to be leading when we come down to the final lap. I want to be second. I think that's the best place to be.
How about Rick Crawford going up through the middle?
They're not going to make it.
Contact and into the wall. The 19 goes around. That's Brad Keselowski. Flying through the tri-oval once again as the caution comes out. They did not receive the white flag. We will have another green-white checker.
Who was running second? Who was running third?
Johnny Sauter was leading when the caution came out. Ron Hornaday actually beat him to the line, but Johnny Sauter was running ahead of Ron Hornaday when the caution came out.
The question is, who was second? Who was third? How are they going to line up on this restart? And NASCAR will use cameras to figure out where to put them. They'll use the scoring loops. So right now, we don't really know what the lineup is for the restart.
Right now, they're going to use the scoring loops to reset them. They do use the cameras on the very last lap to determine positions after the race is won. They're going to use those loops. Look at all the damage to Rick Crawford. He was making that move up to the front. We also saw a lot of damage to the 24 of Max Gresham.
Yeah, the 19 of Brad Keselowski. That's the first truck I saw sideways was a 19 of Brad Keselowski. You see, Brad, there's a 19 there. He's pushing the 31 of Busher. There's Clay Greenfield.
Clay Greenfield just turns him around.
Gets him into this left rear quarter panel, turns him right in front of Rick Crawford. Then they catch Max Gresham up against the outside wall.
Guys, now fuel is going to become a real concern if these guys were about to run out a minute ago.
Ty Dillon does an excellent job. Again, watch Ty Dillon here.
Clear to the middle behind the 73, outside now, bottom of 3. Bottom of 3, hold on, you got crabs in front of you. Check up, check up, check up.
Got in the back of Ryan Siegel a little bit.
Come on, stay back up.
But kept that truck straight. That's the important thing.
Could be some real damage to the grill of that truck, though. Looks like it's all right, Phil, as he drives off.
Yeah.
Hornaday just didn't get a start that time, Phil.
Sure didn't.
He's falling all the way back outside the top 10.
Oh, and around goes Johnny Sauter. John King got in the back of him, and Sauter goes into the wall. He'll collect his teammate, Matt Crafton, as they come to the start-finish line. We will have another restart. They did not receive the white flag before Sauter got around and into the wall.
Depends on when the white flag got thrown.
Displayed. We see hard damage on the 81 of David Starr.
John King.
Brendan Gaughan's, South Point Chevrolet with a tremendous amount of damage.
John King, Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter, Justin Lofton. They're your top 5. Look at your race leader. Obviously frustrated, had a chance to win here at Daytona.
I talked about,
you said it, he doesn't do this a lot, hasn't been here before.
We talked about when he was going to push Jason White. You know, you got to be worried about John King.
Yellow did come out before the white. Look at the damage to the 82. That's Grant Enfinger. He has smoke coming out from under that truck. Take another look.
Will NASCAR do anything with John King?
Was Todd Bodine pushing John King and push him into Johnny Sauter?
Was Johnny Sauter moving up to try to block John King? Who knows what all happened there?
Look at all the trucks that got collected.
It looked like John King was going to the outside of Johnny. No, he just got a hold of his back end from the wrong angle.
Yeah.
And turned him sideways. Todd had rooted his way down to the bottom of the racetrack, and there's 2 Thor Sport trucks clobbering each other. The last thing a owner wants to see is his trucks running into each other.
A lot of damage, a lot of parked trucks right at the exit of the tri-oval. NASCAR is going to red flag the race. That means they're going to take the time, stop all of the trucks just out of turn number 4, and clean this up. A lot of trucks involved in this most recent incident.
And how about Todd Bodine emerges with the lead?
And look who slipped through another one. Ty Dillon. He makes another great move down on the bottom of the racetrack to miss all that mess.
Attrition
becoming a big factor in the possibility of winning this race.
He just made a mistake from the backside of Johnny Sauter and turned him around. Inexperience, just
turned us.
Take a look at our flag person up here. The white flag and then the yellow came out. They did not come to the start-finish line to receive the white flag. The yellow came out before.
That's some pretty fancy flagging there.
Very quick.
It was. Had the white one going, but had to get the yellow one out instead.
I'm not sure. There might have been a little bit of contact from behind from the 11 of Todd Bodine into John King.
Yeah, I think you're right, Phil. It looked as though Todd Bodine maybe gave John King a little shove. He then moved up and really didn't know what to do. I'm sure that was a situation where, do I hit the 13? Do I try to save this truck? And it happened so quickly.
John King was out to the right side of Johnny Sauter. There wasn't really a whole lot of a reason to be there.
Now moving off of the bottom of the racetrack as they come into the tri-oval.
Stay on the yellow line. They're trying to make something happen up top here. Stay on the yellow line.
Jason White, and around they go. That will bring the caution out as Joey Coulter goes flying into the catch fence just past the start-finish line, and that will mean John King will win at Daytona. The caution came out just as the pack made it past the start-finish line.
Maybe the least experienced driver we had in the field.
John, pass them. John, pass them. Slowly, gently pass them. Pass them, pass them, pass them.
At Daytona, and this is how it happened as far as the caution coming out. Look back in the middle there, the 22 of Joey Coulter.
A little bit of contact with the 31 of James Busher. Gets up into the catch fence, and man, does that catch fence do its job.
And of course, Ty Dillon slipped right through again. See Ty there in the truck with the bright neon orange, just slips right through. I'm just glad Coulter's okay. That was wild looking. See the way it ripped that back of that truck apart?
Well, sure did. And the front.
James Busher in the 31 got into the back of that 22.
Watch this.
Well, look at that ride, will you? Is that Hornaday going underneath Joey Coulter?
Hornaday underneath the 22 of Joey Coulter.
Watch this from Ron Hornaday's onboard.
Okay, we got one ahead. I don't know.
Right underneath him. Right underneath him.
Underneath. How about Todd Bodine's view?
Did Ron Hornaday get in the back of James Busher and turn him sideways into the 22 of Joey Coulter?
Definitely somebody turned. Watch the 31 get turned.
29's with you now. White flag, middle of 3. Crashing ahead of you. Stay down, get down. Come on, Joey's upside down.
I don't know if he just got in a speedy drive up there, Phil, or if maybe Ron got in the back of him, but there goes Coulter walking away.
Unbelievable. And the bow to the crowd. We have seen two amazing hits.
Darrell Wallace Jr. I think missed his pit and tried to pull back out on the pit road and made contact with that left rear quarter panel of James Busher. Here's Darrell right here. You see him miss his pit.
Go on around. Watch me. Come on.
See if they can pull off. They're pulling off synchronized driving right now. Let's see if they can pull off synchronized pitting. The caution flag doesn't come out. Oh, look at Brendan trying to go up the middle.
There's no room. Here we go. Right as they cross the stripe, we have issues. 77's caught up. Chris Fontaine to the 84. Now the 8 of Max Gresham. The 5 of Tim George Jr. The 93 we saw. Jason White caught up. The 62 of Brendan gone.
There's the 77 of Romain Quiroga.
0
part. Look at Brendan just trying to squeeze in that little bit of a hole. And
looked like Brendan didn't know he was there. Didn't know he was trying to make it 3 wide, go up through the middle, and Brendan came down a little bit. And then it's just around. There's a 30 of Ryan Truex Jr.
Look at Jason White.
Trying to
slipping and sliding. Is he going to make his way through there? Yes.
Yeah, there's a
little bit of contact, but it looked like he pretty much got through. He's been to pit road, not a lot of damage. Look at him try to sneak in this little hole.
Really trying to go there, nowhere to go.
cameraman took off running.
Yeah, got squeezed down into the 77 Armand Quiroga. Just ran out of room there. There's Brendan getting into the 77, turning him right.
Watch the Thor Sports trucks. There's Johnny Sauter slipping through. Look at Matt Crafton just sliding through there. So close. And a great job by Jason White, locking it down, getting slowed up. People just slipping out of his way.
Yeah, the 33 of John King got in the back of the 5 of Tim George Jr. That's what turned him around. You see the 60 Dakota Armstrong trying to get a hole here. Looks if he's going to make contact, maybe a slight bit of contact with that South Point Chevrolet.
See Timothy Peters just on the bottom of your screen, really slowed down and made his way through this crazy accident.
Quite a few trucks caught up in this one. Brings a caution out. Whew. We had passed the halfway point. Things were Dusty Davis, Tim George Jr., Chris Cockrum, Max Gresham, Brendan Newberry, Jeff Agnew.
Look at the lead. Oh, look at Hornaday down on the apron.
Hornaday has to go all the way down on the apron. He's able to catch it.
Come on, caution's out, outside, outside.
And a truck sideways, and problems for Jason White once again. The right side.
We just came off caution.
We just got off of a caution.
Can't we just run a couple laps, get our wits about us again? Why do we have to start doing all that stuff as soon as the green flag waves? And you know they were safe
during this race.
And the caution has come out. They'll start to slow back down. Problem on the backstretch.
And you can't just keep saving them. It's impossible. The way these trucks are.
Contact between the 98 of Johnny Sauter, the 6 of Justin Lofton.
Justin was trying to get in a lane that wasn't there, and it almost caused him a crash. But heck, you're close to 4 wide. I guess you better do something, right?
I'm sure we can go 5 wide here, can we?
I don't think so. Only at Martinsville every now and then.
Jeff Agnew in the 27 will get the free pass. Once again, now Buscher moves to the outside, leaves Ryan Truex in the middle. He has Miguel Paludo behind him, and around they go. Ryan Truex goes around.
I think Ryan Truex had a tire go flat.
Yeah, it started smoking there, and he was trying to get out of that pack. See Ross Chastain, the 19 truck involved.
We saw the 30.
Oh, what a
get loose, get wild. The 17 of Timothy Peters involved in this.
I think you see that left rear tire is flat. John King does a nice job getting by, and then it just loses control.
Well, you see the tread come off the tire all the way down. Ryan did an amazing job keeping that thing straight for ever so long, but then finally the tire went all the way away.
See the damage on the 7 of John West Townley as well as the 17 of Timothy Peters. They really had a run going, and then he felt that tire going down, doing his best. Look at the inside line. They're just jammed up there, nowhere to go.
What about the job that James Buscher did, recognizing that that 30 truck wasn't running right, and he was able to skip to the outside of Truex and kept from being a part of that accident.
Another look.
Ross Chastain just barely got a piece of that.
Had a left rear tire go down. I wonder if if someone rubbed into the left side of him. You can see all the damage on that truck, Phil, and when there's damage, there could have been something that rubbed that tire and it finally just went down.
Yeah, quite possible. Right now that tire is flat. You see him trying to get down to the bottom of the racetrack, but the line is just too thick with trucks.
What about John King? He did an amazing job slipping by that baby, as did Ryan Sieg. Look at Sieg go by, and there's Agnew. All those guys taking evasive action and making it through.
The 7 of John West Townley got into the back of the 17 of Timothy Peters, shoved him into the 30. So you see a lot of damage to the front of the 7, a lot of damage to the 17 of Timothy Peters. One more look. This is why we're under our 5th caution at Daytona. Laps winding down. There'll be less than 5 when we restart. Work. Now, Austin Dillon makes the move to the outside. Here they come to the white flag.
Keep your eye on the 51. Don't get too far out ahead.
No green, white checker.
White flag in the air.
Oh, they crashed.
Crash behind him.
Just go with it.
The caution is going to come out. It looks as though Johnny Sauter is going to win this race at Daytona.
Wow.
We won.
He's not sure. He's still waiting for confirmation. But the white flag was taken.
Place finish.
And again, they just took the white flag. The leader took the white flag, and Jeff Agnew in the 27 gets down on the apron, shoots back up the racetrack.
Yeah, James Busher got in the back of him, turned him down to the apron.
NASCAR, no choice but to throw the caution. You got trucks sliding sideways in the middle of the track. And when you have that situation, you've got to have safety. And the trucks had crossed the start-finish line. Kyle Busch, I think, was licking his chops, thinking he had Johnny Sauter right where he wanted him. And the caution flies.
And people may ask, well, wait a minute, they were way out of the way as that start-finish line, but the safety has to get to these trucks.
There you go, you got
quickly
him.
as they can. That's the reason.
Keep coming, keep coming.
Out.
Keep coming, caution's out.
Saw the bump.
They got the way.
Busher.
And the crew's reaction. They am from behind Kyle Busch right now.
There's a traffic jam everywhere.
Timothy Peters in front of Kyle Busch. Now it's two Toyotas in front of the field. Hornaday, Ryan Truex, two Chevrolets running third and fourth. Johnny Sauter runs out our top five. Third caution came out. It was a big one in the Next Era Energy Resources 250. A lot of trucks caught up in this incident. The 35 of Mason Mingus hit a ton on the outside wall.
There's John King. John West Townley got some of that. You see a splitter all bent up on the left side. Happened to just inside the top 10. Did the 92 of Ross Chastain get in the back of Parker Kligerman in the 58?
It appears that's the deal. Parker Kligerman, Phil, had driven up to the outside coming off turn 4 to lead that group that Ross Chastain was in the front of, and it looked like Ross got a little overzealous into one and hit Kligerman. Maybe we can get a better look at it. Hopefully everybody's okay.
Watch that white truck on the outside. You can see right now the 92 is against the tailgate.
Yep.
I think maybe did the 58 have to go up the track a little bit, maybe change directions a little bit to avoid the 35, and when he did that, it just got him loose. Look at the job that Jeb Burton does.
Jeb Burton does an amazing job of getting through this.
As does Caleb Holman. Look at Caleb, he's right in the middle of the wreck.
That's that blue and white car, or truck, excuse me, number 75.
Another look. The 58 gets a little help from behind, turns inside and into that 35.
Yeah, wow. Hard hit for Mason Mingus.
He's a tough young man, and I know it's he's needing to be tough right now. That was a huge crash.
Look at the damage to that Mad Vapes truck, that Toyota. Tyler Young comes along and gets caught up with the 35. There's Chris Fontaine. There's another view of it. You see the contact right there.
Did you see how the 35 came, maybe was, just one half, a quarter of a truck length up high, and maybe Kligerman had to change directions, and at the same time, Chastain gave him a bump, and it just sent him out of control.
And the bumps are what these guys have relied on to get some momentum. So, that's not unprecedented to get a bump like that.
There's some great driving that goes on during this crash, though. Joe Nemechek somehow snakes his way through this huge crash.
Did you see the safer barrier give when the 35 of Mingus hit it just about head on?
Riding along with the 31 of Ben Kennedy. Amazingly unscathed through that incident.
Oh, Bubba's so close to making it, but gets caught up in it. And look at Jeb Burton, under control, makes his way through the crash.
All around him.
Same with Caleb Holman there.
This is Joey Coulter.
Boy, Joey saw it pretty early. He makes contact with Brian Eichler. Ooh, and a lot of damage. Along with Brendan Newberry in the 24.
See Joe Nemechek? He just kept on driving, made it all the way through the crash.
It's experience for you.
A lot of sheet metal destroyed on these trucks.
Wow.
Yeah, a hard hit for Mason Mingus in the 35.
Brian Eichler as well on that 7 Red Horse truck. Ryan Ellis, that 28 truck, did a nice job getting by. He was right in the middle of this.
I think it was just a situation, Phil, where we've tried to race so close together. Mingus was off the bottom, just maybe a quarter, a half a truck length. Look at this view right here. Let's see if we can see if Mingus maybe comes up just a little bit, and then Kligerman has to change grooves right there.
There he's coming up just a tick.
Just a couple feet, maybe.
That's all we're talking about. That's how precise you have to be, and that's why it's impossible for these guys to race like that all night long.
Can the momentum come back again on the high side? Sure enough, here comes Ryan Truex in the 32. Timothy Peters has a truck length in front of the 51 of Kyle Busch.
What a push Truex is getting from his teammate there. Hornaday all over the back of him.
Coming out of turn number 4. This time by, they're going to see the white flag.
Timothy Peters is driving out of his mirror right now.
White flag in the air. One more time around Daytona.
White flag, one more.
Peters holding his line on the bottom of the racetrack.
Looks like Kyle Busch has fallen off of Peters' tailgate a bit. And that outside line can't keep up the pace right now.
I think that's what Kyle Busch wants. He wants to be able to. Now, here comes Truex up next, side by side with Kyle.
What a run for Truex.
Truex with another run as they enter turn number 3. He's side by side for second. Kyle Busch is boxed in as they come through 3 and 4. Now he's got a little bit of an advantage. Kyle Busch, does he have the momentum? Coming out of turn number 4, he makes the move to the outside. Timothy Peters checks him up high as they come to the stripe. Side by side for the win. It's going to go to Kyle Busch as he crossed the stripe.
Jimmy Willer gets turned around past the start-finish line.
A perfectly timed pass for Kyle Busch. And of course, we got to apologize, a little emotion there in the radio.
What an amazing run to the checker.
Boy, Timothy Peters did all he could do to try to block Kyle Busch. He had to give him a little bit of room.
And that's all Kyle Busch usually needs, is just a little bit of room. He fell off the back of Peters' field coming off turn 4. Got a little bit of push from behind, and that's all he needed to propel his truck to victory lane.
He said he wanted to be second when the white flag flew. He said he needed to time it out just right. You can't get any closer than what they just did. 17 1/1000ths of a second separated the two.
Remember, we talked about youth versus experience. We had 3 of our more experienced drivers finish 1, 2, 3.
You see the gap right there? I think Kyle got that on purpose to get off of Timothy Peters. Use the run to get to the outside of him. Timothy did all he could do. He tried to swoop over and get a push from Sauter for the win. It just didn't work.
Look how close the finish is at Daytona once again. 17 1/1000ths of a second.
Wow, unbelievable.
I love trucks.
I thought it was going to be 3 wide for a moment.
We've seen that before a few times.
I love trucks.
Look at that.
Incredible. That's what 17 thousandths of a second looks like.
About 4 feet from the bumper of the 51 to the bumper of the 17. Kyle Busch has been able to figure out his celebration a few different times in the Camping World Truck Series. This is win number 36 for him. Let's hear from the winning crew chief. He's with Bob Dillon.
A big sigh of relief from Eric Phillips. Kyle Busch has finally won at Daytona. Sitting up there on that box, what was that like?
It was pretty cool. He knew what he wanted to do. I kind of rather been in second than leading there. We had something wrong with our truck about halfway through the race. The guys, we made a mistake, but the pit crew and Kyle kept it up there all night in a spotter. Those guys, him and Kyle, Tony, are awesome together. But got to give a shout out to Woody, our truck driver. He's been in Halifax for the last 2 days. Get better, big man.
Emotional time for Eric Phillips, and let me tell you something. Spotter Tony Hirschman was like an air traffic controller for Kyle Busch.
He has the checkered flag. He'll jump back in that truck and make it to victory lane for his first time here at Daytona. Thanks, Ryan, for letting us catch our breath after that wild finish here at Daytona. An amazing run by Kyle Busch as he came to the checkered flag. Look at our Ram guts and glory finish.
He stuck it to the outside, Rick, and Timothy had to give him a groove. He knew Kyle was coming. Timothy just couldn't quite get down in front of Johnny Sauter soon enough to get the big push, and it gave Kyle that huge 17 thousandths of a second victory.
Kyle knew how to lose him. He's finished second 3 times here. Now he knows how to win him.
And Timothy Peters, a very close second, standing by with Ray Dunlap.
Yeah, our 2010 winner came oh so close. My big question is, what happened on that last lap, and is there anything else you could have done?
You know, it's always easy to sit here and be Monday morning quarterback, but I guess I wouldn't have got out as far as I did. But Kyle caught the right push at the right time from Johnny. I went up to try to block him, but then got right back down to the bottom so I wouldn't lose second. So, hey, what a great effort by
Truck will settle down a little bit.
He and Sauter are trying to pull that outside lane back toward the front, but they are still mired.
Oh, got a spinner. Austin Hill, the 82. It looks like he got hit from behind.
Just hang on here.
And they keep crashing Ben Kennedy.
You're good down low.
Joe Nemechek, the 8.
Stay up high here.
Truck also involved.
Austin Hill was running in the 11th spot, and that thing just turned around going into turn 1. I cannot believe that he spun out right in front of Chris Fontaine.
Yeah, that's Austin on the outside of Cameron Haley.
Wow. Did the left rear tire come apart? Watch Chris Fontaine. Look at that job. He was able just to slip by. That's using your brain, being calm, just steering through a wreck. Great job, Chris.
I think that left rear tire went on that 82 truck for Austin Hill.
I think I saw the sidewall come out of it as they entered the corner. What happened to Timothy Peters when all this went down? Oh, wow. They let off.
Wow. That's Justin Boston, the 54 truck for KBM, getting a lot of damage when he got into the 1 truck of Donnie Neuenberger.
Yeah, Neuenberger led off, slowing for the crash. And got
Just slow it down. Just slow it down. About 4 or 5 of them down here. Just slow it down.
Look at the job.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
How about the job Timothy Peters did getting through there? How about Matt Crafton? He's down to 2nd gear by the time he gets to the accident site.
That's why that gap was there. The left rear tire goes on that 82 truck around. He goes. Look at Chris Fontaine around the top, and there's really no excuse for this second pack to crash. That's why you run back there. You got to keep your eyes straight up ahead.
Well, Agassi's all over the back of that 29 truck of Theriault.
Oh, truck in the wall. That's Boston. He had more than just a little problem. He's in the fence, and caution waves for the second time tonight. Was dragging on that truck, possibly a suspension component, whatever it was, wore through.
You can see the wheels turned to the right, the brakes locked up, and that truck was going left anyway.
Something failed in the front steering, obviously. Wow.
Crash. It's the big one. What a mess. There's a dozen trucks torn up in this one.
Man. Look at John Westella having such a good run running up in the top 10. There's Spencer Gallagher, Cameron Haley in that 13 truck. Chris Fontaine in the 84.
Timothy.
The back straightaway.
Oh. Right on the back straightaway, you're right, Mike. What happened to Ben Kennedy?
Well, Ben Kennedy looked like he had a tire down or something broken. Michael,
almost
everybody
stopped.
piled in.
James Busher, the 31, also involved in this incident. Ray Black Jr., the 07, maybe not a whole lot of damage. Ryan Ellis, the 28, gets caught by Daniel Hemrick.
What happened? Kennedy was slow up top, but that didn't really seem to have anything to do with the beginning of that crash.
Right at the bottom, right around where James Busher was.
Yeah, it's like an accordion effect. Once it looked like somebody slowed, and then they started running into each other.
You don't think someone ran out of gas, do you?
It's possible. Within a lap or two, I think, of these guys coming down pit road.
That's about the only thing that could have caused that.
Let's look from Austin Theriault.
Theriault run out of gas? Okay.
Oh, he slows down for some reason.
He slows down. Lagasse gets in the back of him, and it's just an accordion-like wreck as the trucks behind can't slow down in time.
So many of these trucks with absolutely nowhere to go. Matt Tiff does a nice job going through the grass, and the 25 truck looks like he may have missed everything.
You know, caution. If we need to fix that hood, come to pit road right now.
Matt Tiff has gotten around somehow over in turn 2.
What a break for Johnny Sauter.
Woof. I don't know.
Instead of being you can see how violently the air affects these trucks.
Phil, would you explain to me exactly what's happening here?
Maybe the front brakes are locked up on that truck or something, because obviously he has power. He's spinning that right rear tire.
Right rear spinning, the left rear is not moving at all.
They pick him off on the bottom.
Oh, trouble. What is that? It's the 28 truck that was damaged earlier. Ryan Ellis.
What a save by Ryan Ellis.
What a suspension break, or is he losing a tire?
He got loose.
Wow.
That truck's all messed up from the wreck. He got loose, all but crashed. And look at the job. It's clear to see that Crafton can miss that crash. He's watching what's going on. But the 33
Come, white flag. This is it.
There goes the 20. He laid back.
Here comes Suarez. He pulled to the outside. He got a little bit of momentum. Pulled to the outside of Ray Black Jr. Nobody went with him.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that was a great move. I love what he did. He gave it a shot.
No help.
Gonna pay off, but he got zero help.
Crafton side by side for 8th. 2 Fords up front. Austin Terrio trying to be the first Daytona winner in his first start since Robert Presley in 2002.
Jones push Legacy. Can they make a run here off turn 4? They've gapped it back a little bit. Jones pull up on Legacy and make a run or no?
Terrio laid off a little bit here, trying to get a little momentum as they exit 4.
3 wide in the back. The battle is for the win. Here they fan out, and out in front of everyone is the number 19, Tyler Reddick.
You win, buddy. Keep going. They're 5 wide here, man. We need to get away from. You won. Hey, guys, great job. That's the way to start a year. Proud of you guys. Great execution. That's how we do it, guys. Great, outstanding job.
A 4-wide finish. Unofficially, Eric Jones 2nd, Austin Terrio 3rd, Scott Lang.
I would have wanted to be on pit road when the caution flag comes out. Look here, we're going to have an accident like we were talking about.
It's the 18 of Cody Coughlin, and the 23 collects Christopher Bell.
It happens all the time when you do that.
The big question is how much damage. Looks like some pretty significant damage to the 18 of Coughlin and the 23, obviously, of Spencer Gallagher.
Watch the yellow truck of right there. Cody Coughlin. He ran into the back of Spencer Gallagher, and that caused that mess. And you can see the 9 truck of Byron sliding his tires. He should have come on to pit road. That would have been a free pit stop for him. Now he's having to do it and lose all his track position. But you see, was there contact into the back of the 18?
Looked like Ben Rhodes maybe in the 41 truck ran in the back of Cody Coughlin. So
How bad is
Bell gets some damage there?
Oh, look at Sauter tiptoe through there.
Here's Cody Coughlin right along. Listen. I think there was definitely some contact from the back. Then he was along for the ride, got into the inside wall pretty hard.
But watch Sauter. This is an experienced veteran. He knows. Look how far to the left he is. That's where you want to be, except for a truck comes sliding by him on the inside. 2 trucks.
Unbelievable job by Johnny Sauter. What a veteran move by him. Then he had to avoid Suarez.
At that point, Sauter can't let off. That caused a big crash. Look at Enfinger. Oh, there it is.
Enfinger around, Cameron Haley around, Ben Kennedy.
They got it. 4
Huge crash in turn 3 at Daytona with 8 to go.
I didn't see any way they could continue to run like that.
Look at Terrio, tore all to pieces back there. Fast truck.
Ben Kennedy involved, William Byron involved, Suarez, there's Chris Fontaine. Terrio with such a great truck.
Knew 3 wide wasn't going to work, but it actually happened inside. It looked like the 17 of Peters might have gotten into the back end of the 13 of Cameron Haley.
And that was right beside Matt Crafton. He got, hard contact.
I thought maybe they had a chance to straighten it out, but then it just stacked everybody up so much. And then about 3 or 4 rows back, they started wrecking.
You can't see, Phil. You don't know that those guys have gone out of control up ahead of you. You got the gas wide open, driving straight into the crash.
There was a push from Timothy, turned Cameron Haley sideways out into the outside of John Hunter Nemechek. And again, there it looks like they're almost straight, but now we're 6 and 7 wide.
Look at Chris Bell slipping through.
Well, this is going to be one of those races where you might look back as the winner or the top 2 or 3 finishers and say, whew, we dodged a couple of those. And we talked about this earlier in the show tonight.
We've seen it all night. Watch Peters hit. You can see he wasn't right behind the 13 of Haley and knocked him into John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek's able to continue, but behind them, what a mess.
Looked like it actually lifted the back end off of that 13 truck up off the ground.
Watch it from the onboard of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
It's 2 wide behind you. Nose to tail. Easy. 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide. Keep rolling, keep rolling. You good?
Yeah, I think Matt got the damage from the 86 of Brandon Brown.
Half. He's to him.
There's our forward on board.
Keep coming low. Come on low. Keep coming outside. Coming. Bottoms out. Come on low. Come on.
I think he was going to be okay until Cole Custer bounced off the wall into him.
And just remember what we said. You're 6-8 rows back. You're still wide open while they're crashing. You can't see what's going on yet.
What a save by John Hunter Nemechek, though.
Gonna win it.
It may have a lot to do with who's in that second row, who's doing the pushing back there.
Timothy Peters was very aggressive with his push to Ryan Truex. And look at Sauter. He's trying to crowd down on Truex.
A lot of door banging going on at the front.
They're still dead even. Christopher Bell lost a little ground to Sauter. Look at that inside line going.
You can't push. You
Keep it on
can't
that yellow line,
consistently
Keep it on the
push.
yellow line now. Don't get too far out. Right there. Doing good. Looking good. 3 of y'all in a breakaway here now. 3 of
Truex and Peters, 1-2.
We're not done from hearing from Johnny Sauter. Johnny's going to have a big run.
Truex trying to keep the field behind him.
Keep it behind you. 1 to go.
The white flag is out.
They're going to
Sauter
crash.
with a big run. They're crashing. Christopher Bell upside down. Coming to the checkered flag, but the yellow is out. And Johnny Sauter will win the season opener at Daytona, and Chevrolet will go to victory lane for the first time in the at Daytona in the Truck Series.
Sanders gets bumped.
Looked like William Byron got jumped by the 86. Look at Timothy Peters on the inside as Christopher Bell tumbles down the front straightaway. Timothy all the way to the inside of the racetrack because, you know, a lot of new pavement down there, guys, and that makes such a huge difference. They don't get any grass. A lot of huge pavement scrubs off a lot of that speed.
I count 13 rolls for Christopher Bell. Watch it.
Well, Daniel Hemrick almost went underneath that 4 truck of Christopher Bell.
It's a testament to the safety of these racing vehicles that Christopher Bell can take that kind of ride
Christopher
and
Bell
then drop the window net and climb out.
Very fortunate that these trucks are as safe as they are. Look at this truck just get out of control. Probably about the fastest part of this speedway, Phil, right out of the tri-oval.
It just starts tumbling.
That young man with his dirt racing background, I'm sure he's had many barrel rolls in his career, but none like that.
And Michael, I know you've been upside down. I've been upside down like that. The flipping's not that bad, but it's the landing that hurts. And that thing landed about 6 or 8 times pretty hard.
What about Brandon Brown? He slides through there. Looks like he's going to be credited with a 4th place finish.
I think he might have got in the back of William Byron, and that's what got in the back of the 4 of Christopher Bell and turned him sideways.
Wow. But we saw, you know, experienced driver like Timothy Peters. Let's watch this view.
Keep coming, they're wrecking. Back it up, back it out.
Wow, he had to turn hard left to avoid the flipping Christopher Bell.
You're right, Phil. All that pavement down there gave those guys options.
Watch Timothy Peters second in line on the inside after the contact.
That looks a whole lot like the angle that Kyle Busch rode into that inside wall a year ago. But all that pavement and that wall has been relocated. There's safer barrier all in that area there.
And just barely nudged that safer barrier.
Lane making some progress. If you want to duck out, say you're about where Timothy Peters is right now. You want to be a part of that closing outside lane?
Oh! Contact and into the wall.
Hang on to it here, man. Hold the brake.
Oh, the 19 of Austin Cindric hard into the wall.
Looked like Chase Briscoe got into the back of the 18 of Noah Gragson.
Wow. A lot of damage.
We also talked stage racing.
Youth versus experience.
We talked everything that could lead to us seeing the biggest crash fest we've ever seen with these young, inexperienced racers pushing too hard too soon.
What a disappointment, that 18 there of Noah Gragson. There's the 29 of Chase Briscoe.
Check out right here that's the area in which it looks like this accident starts. Right there, just an awkward push from the 29 truck of Briscoe into Gragson, and these guys scatter from there.
The track gets blocked.
You hit that grass over there, it tears the nose off the truck. Look at that wreck. They're still wrecking laid into it.
Down in the grass.
At that point, it becomes like a spider web, just catching trucks.
Look, it was just a situation where it looked like Gragson went up, and Briscoe was on him, and they made contact.
Yeah, the 7 of Brett Moffitt had that outside line. It was a little bit seized up there, so we talk about how the fact you can't hardly see through these trucks very well. He was slow and looked like Chase just got in the back of Noah just a little bit.
Or did he?
But it doesn't take much. All it takes is the slightest bit of contact.
It looked like Gragson maybe was just trying to maneuver in behind the truck ahead of him and could have gotten loose.
Clay Greenfield with the best opportunity to have a great run here. He's in this.
It has every sign that he hit him, but that one angle, Phil, it didn't look like he was up on him when the truck started weaving.
Hard hit for Austin Cindric, that 19 truck into the outside safer barrier. Let's ride along with Austin Cindric, see what he saw here.
Right in front of Chase. Chase is on the 18, one in front of you. Easy, go low, back it down, back it up.
Just needed a couple of feet, Phil, and he's through on the inside.
Yeah.
How about this time from the 24 of Scott Lagasse Jr.? Watch it.
Inside only. Get on their door inside. Inside only. You have more help coming here. Go on, check up. Stay at the top. Hurry up. Watch the silver craft. Get on the brake. Clear down.
He could have escaped without any damage, Phil.
Yeah,
just
sort of minor contact there, it looked like.
Slid through.
Right in the middle of it all.
A year ago, this is what stage racing is all about. There's 10 points on the line and one precious playoff point here for the guy that wins this stage. Oh, and they're going to crash.
Bell and Moffitt contact, and the caution is out. And for the second year in a row, Christopher Bell involved in an accident. Significant damage to the 7 of Moffitt.
I don't think there's a great deal of damage to Christopher Bell's truck, but Brett Moffitt more than likely is terminal.
He's done. Bell for the second year in a row, Vint. This is just bump drafting gone bad.
Watch the 23 of Spencer Gallagher. Like he might have just gotten into the back end of that 7 truck. He got
out to the right side of the bumper, Vince, and I think that's what turned Brett Moffitt around.
Luckily, no more than just a couple involved. You can see right there.
Maybe that's why Matt Crafton dove out of that pack.
Airs coming onto pit road. That was key. They got in their box smooth. The least important part was speeding on exit, and that's what they did. Oh, there it goes.
Contact between Peters and Bell. Can Bell gather it in? Definitely some contact. And the 5 of Corbin Forrester through the grass tears up the front end of that.
A lot of damage to Bell's truck.
Watch the replay here. The Timothy Peters in that white truck.
He got a little bit sideways, I think, Mikey.
Yeah, just loose. And Peters just does an amazing job of avoiding this accident. And then Corbin Forrester would just really know where to go.
Yeah. Look at all the damage the grass did to the 5 of Forrester's truck.
Right along with Christopher Bell. Second time he's had an issue in that spot tonight.
Matt Crafton, with my experience, and Timothy Peters behind me.
Oh, John Hunter Nemechek is around.
No caution yet. There's the caution.
And the caution is out. You see all the damage that Nemechek has suffered throughout the course of the night already.
Well, here's the big question. We've seen teammates work together all night long. The leader of the race take the outside. The guy in second, let him in when they throw the green. There's only going to be a couple of laps to go inside line, but I'm going to take the outside. You have to let me in. Does he trust that he gets let in?
There's John Hunter. Just gets a little bit loose coming off the corner. It gets away from him. His dad, Joe, did an amazing job to avoid him.
And that's right there where we talked about. Exiting the corner from the bank to the flat. Right there, loose.
Just when it flattens out, that rear goes around, keeps it out of the outside wall. But remember, though, we had a restart early in the race when GMS did that. But Christopher Bell from the outside got such a good push, they got it in between GMS trucks.
It's a champion, Matt Crafton. Can he hang on? He's got a big lead.
Don't get out too far.
The final lap, Crafton in the 88 in front.
Johnny
Sauter inside, it's 3 wide.
Making that hole.
Forced his way to the middle.
Middle of 3. You're middle of 3. Come on, 13. You got a guy coming to you. Not over. Keep digging.
They're crashing. Rhodes into Crafton.
Keep digging. Damn.
Crafton up and over.
And Kaz Gralla, looks to me like, will win this race.
Huge crash at the end on the final lap. And Kaz Gralla, the youngest driver in the field, the youngest driver to win a pole award in NASCAR's Touring Series history.
We'll have to wait and see NASCAR, but he sure looked like he was the one that emerged with a lead.
You can see, no surprise to me that exiting the corners when the trouble happened. It just was a very aggressive push.
Yeah, it looked like Grant Enfinger was trying to help. Ooh, look at Matt Crafton up and over.
There's Johnny Sauter up in the middle of the mess. Grant Enfinger was pushing right there when the track flattens out.
Yep.
Around goes the 27, catches Crafton, who thought he was home free.
Exactly in that spot where you said you didn't want to be pushed, where the track changes a little bit of that elevation.
It's nearly impossible to do it cleanly, and this is just way too much right here. Enfinger would have been much better off just to tap his partner, tap his buddy past Crafton, but he got too aggressive. It's the last lap, you understand that. But look at the impact by Timothy Peters. And look at Gralla just sneaking through that hole.
Right through the middle. And how about Austin Wayne Self right behind him? Chase Briscoe as well as Crafton goes up and over. Wow.
30-some hundred pounds of race vehicle just floating around like a feather. That tells you how fast these guys are going and how crazy things get at the end. He's still not on the ground. Awesome camera work, guys. This is beautiful. I mean, it's terrible, but it's...
Scott Lagasse. Watch Matt Crafton over there. Completely up in the air.
And maybe it was still in gear. Oh, possibly just carrying too much speed down on the apron. I mean, that apron is really, really flat, and these cars don't like flat surfaces. They're set up for those high banks. They won't handle down there. I don't think he should have went onto the apron, I guess, obviously.
He didn't hit anything, but my fear is he flat spotted those tires, and now he's going to have to...
With the 98 of Enfinger.
That's him right here inside of the 51 truck. Spencer Davis. Dalton Sargent at 25 right behind him.
He just wanders up off the bottom and looks like just tries to turn back to the bottom, Phil.
Just got loose. Just simply got loose.
And watch the driving some of these racers do to get through it.
How about Parker Kligerman? He got hit by the 20 of Lagasse. There's that hard contact to the safer barrier for Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Well, it's amazing that Coughlin and Sargent both avoided significant damage. Coughlin, you see there spinning, and that was Sargent right behind him. What a big hit for Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Thank goodness for the safer barriers.
You're right. Well, we both hit that wall down there when it wasn't protected. And
let's go on board with Cody Coughlin. Enfinger is just up ahead on the left.
Stay up here. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Lock it down, lock it down, lock it down. Keep it locked down. Release the brake, release the brake. Okay. Keep it locked down, keep it locked down, keep it locked down. Nice. Didn't hit a thing, Jerry.
The 0-2. Well, it was fourth when I said that.
Oh, Cody Coughlin got pushed out of line.
Trying to find room to get back up into the track, and around goes.
Is that John Hunter?
And the 16 of Brett Moffitt.
Watch it, watch it, watch it. Pick your way through there. What's your path, Cody? Talk to us. The left rear, Phil.
There goes the right rear tire.
Well, the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, the 16 of Brett Moffitt, the 13 there is Myatt Snyder. Watch it right here.
There's Cody Coughlin. We saw him get pushed out. Did a nice job saving that. Watch the 8 now. That first black truck. Second truck in line. That tire just explodes as it gets down into turn number 3. Oh, great job by Davis. What a unbelievable. Nice Austin Hill as well. Unfortunately for the 16 of Moffitt, Stuart Friesen absolutely nowhere to go, as well as the 13 of Myatt Snyder.
Wrong place, wrong time.
It's an unbelievable job by the 51 of Spencer Davis.
He's just relying on all that experience he has here at Daytona and in the Truck Series, right, Phil?
Now, how many times has he been here?
Oh, this is the first time he's ever taken to the high banks of Daytona in his first truck start ever, and that was a veteran move. He was able to move to the high side, kept control of his truck, and drove right through that mess.
And Joe Nemechek had the presence of mind to move up the racetrack to give him room to get in between himself and his son John Hunter.
Watch it from on board with Cody Coughlin.
Oh, got one sideways on the
right front down.
And that is Kligerman.
Wreck in front of you, wreck in front of you.
The right front went for Kligerman just about the same time that Noah Gregson had a problem and Bo Lamastus involved.
Yeah, I saw from the onboard there that Lamastus got sideways.
Here's the shot you were talking about, Mike.
Watch out over there to the left. You could see they were
Keep coming. Caution will be out. It's not out yet. Big wreck behind you. Caution is out.
I think somebody ran in the back of Noah Gregson. There'll be another view. You see, there's the contact. Watch. Actually, I don't think there was any contact. Noah just got sideways trying to avoid the 54 of Bo Lamastus and couldn't hold on to it.
But Lamastus was tight beside another truck, and it just...
Lamastus making his truck. Scott Lagasse. Haley couldn't run this race last year because he wasn't old enough, so this is his first time here at Daytona.
He went to Talladega.
Oh, hard hit again. 68 of Greenfield.
Looks like Matt Crafton might have gotten to the outside wall too, but hard impact.
The 28 of Brian Doza, the 7 of Corbin Forrester.
Yeah,
you see the 88 of Crafton's got heavy damage.
Heavy damage to the 88. Just about ripped the tail off that truck.
Of Crafton.
Nobody in front of him on the top. You're clear middle if needed. You're all clear on the top. Both sides. Hang tight there. Hang tight.
Yeah, Matt was going to try to shoot the middle there when Clay was up the racetrack. Oh, that hurts me. Look at Cody Coughlin, that job he does. He was right behind the 02 of Austin Hill. Austin got his right front fender damaged.
And earlier he was down in the dirt on the back straightaway. He just keeps avoiding messes.
54 truck.
And a lot of damage to the hood on her truck as well. Look how that tire has destroyed the fender and the hood on that truck.
For some reason, did both of those trucks have left front tire failures on the first lap of the race?
She's got more issues than that. She's tore her oil line off right there.
And that's a big problem for Natalie Decker, making her first Truck Series start here at Daytona.
That'll bring out the caution as she's on pit road.
And it is indeed out. And there you see pulling Natalie Decker out of the truck. The crew right on hand to get that fire out.
To the outside wall.
And now watch that 17 of Gilliland, second in line. Well, we're going to see the back of the replay first.
An issue for the 28 of Brian Doza. That got into the 42 of Robbie Lyons. That's why he got into the outside wall.
But you know, you can let your air pressures down on your left side tires and promote grip. That helps. There you see Doza with the issue, goes up and catches lines. Robbie did a great job of keeping in the gas.
No caution yet. No caution yet.
24 truck of Moffitt. That's Johnny Sauter on the inside of the 13. Oh, big crash.
Bottom 13.
The 49 of Cicerelli involved in that. The 47 of Fontaine.
Looks like the 0-2 of Tyler Dipple isn't in there as well.
Tyler's had some issues. He was already 4 laps down.
His night has come to an early end.
Top of the screen, you see the yellow truck on the right. Started to go sideways ahead of him. Looked like Cicerelli not, oh, look at that damage. And then just nowhere for Chris Fontaine and that blue and yellow 47 truck to go.
You could see the fire come out of the exhaust. He was off the gas for sure, but just couldn't get stopped in time.
So the 0-2 of Dipple, the 47 of Fontaine, and the 49 of Cicerelli. And here's another look at it.
Oh, it looks like Timothy Peters maybe got a bump draft that went awry, and Dipple was just an innocent bystander in that, trying to dodge what potentially was an issue, and then Fontaine with nowhere to go.
It just slides right up in front of Chris Fontaine.
Well, that's a group of drivers behind them fortunate that they didn't get collected and gathered up in that mess. Could have involved a lot more than just 3 trucks.
Local outdoor outfitter, here to get you ready for whatever adventure comes calling. Get outdoors and go for it. Visit your local Gander Outdoors or shop ganderoutdoors.com today.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
This race. Let's take a look here.
The 2 of Creed right there in the middle, and
it looked like Jordan Anderson had some sort of an issue and slowed, it looked like. Well, and then Creed ran in the back of him.
Not sure Sheldon Creed had anywhere to go.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, Jordan looks. Looked like the left front tire looked a little funny on that truck. Possibly maybe a left front tire going down.
You know, Phil, he was running. Jordan was in the 5th position when they entered turn 1 and 2. We were on board the truck behind him, and there were sparks coming from behind the truck. I think maybe Jordan felt something was going wrong and pulled up. I don't know.
Maybe trying to get out of the way.
Moffitt, Sauter, Snyder, Gus Dean, Jordan Anderson, of course, Sheldon Creed, Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen, Austin Wayne Self, Brennan Poole, Christian Eckes, all with varying degrees of damage.
I just don't think Jordan realized that the 2 of Creed was inside of him as much as he was. Came down a bit. Angela Ruck's just doing a great job running up inside the top 5. We're gonna
from Brett Moffitt's view.
Brett Moffitt got hung on the outside. Nowhere to go really for all these trucks once the contact was made with the 3 of Jordan Anderson.
I just think Jordan tried to maybe close a hole that Sheldon Creed had already occupied. And
they get to the yellow line before the pace vehicle. That's a no-brainer call right there.
And the 51 of Christian Eckes.
Off to your left here now. Turn off to your left. Into where our safety
caution is out.
Off to your left.
So a big crash. In the big crash, he suffered.
The 12 of Gus Dean, the 4 of Todd Gillen. Around he goes.
Wow, unbelievable that it was just Corey Roper involved in that. How did he not collect others?
Lost it on his own right there.
Right on the back of Austin Hill, pushing a bit, and when he comes off this turn, just the inexperience of not knowing the nose was going to be light when he exits the corner because of being right on the back of the 16, and the truck just goes around.
And I think then he grabs the steering wheel when that truck goes high right there. He grabs the steering wheel, turns a little bit left, and that's all it took.
How he didn't collect others, it's amazing.
Right there, the front end just goes light on him up the hill. Cranked it left, like you said, Phil. Then back to the right, but it was too late.
A little hard shot into the safer barrier.
Ben Rhodes was able to take advantage of that and
revolving around what's going on right there. And it's the history of our sport, from racing on the beach to this place they got now. It's just magical.
You win a race here, it's heard all around the world.
The final 20 laps, I mean, it is just all hell breaks loose. It's a great American race.
The 4 and the 18.
Trying to get a little run going. 18 goes to the outside. A little bit of a bump from Gillen. It just caught him at the wrong place. These bumpers don't match up all that well. A lot of times just caught him at the wrong place and turned him sideways into the wall.
Crafton was of everything that was going on around him. As soon as he saw that go bad, to the apron he goes. And watch the job that David Gillen does. Those trucks are crashing right in front of
he misses that.
Right in front of that blue truck with Valvoline on the hood. He's able to sneak through.
A little bit of damage there to that right front of David Gilliland. Crafton has barely missed, what, 3 accidents tonight? I mean, maybe it is going to be his night, because sometimes when you win, you look back and you say, whoo, boy, I caught some breaks along the way. Maybe those are the breaks that Matt Crafton's catching that might enable him to win his first super speedway race.
Just a little bit of a tap, and they got Harrison out of control there.
How many lives he's saved, and how many racers can keep doing
stuff to the 99 of Rhodes.
Greenfield taking a look on the outside.
Oh,
and
no!
Now a little contact, and he's not going to be able to hang on to it. And he takes Peters with him. Greenfield got out of line, took a little peek, and then...
See if you can get it rolling here.
Well, check it out. The 68 of Greenfield and the 44 Peters right behind him.
Greenfield tries to make it 3 wide. He went high. When that closed, he decided to go back low, but Timothy Peters had already filled that hole. Phil, we're inside 10 to go. You can't leave holes open, and it was just a case where Greenfield left a door open. Timmy went through the door, and it was too late for Greenfield to throw the block.
I tell you, I think there's even less damage on that 68 truck of Greenfield. Let's take a look at it. It's going to be a great view from here. He goes up to 16 blocks. Then he said, okay, I'm going to get back behind the 16. But Timothy has already stuck his nose in the center, which is what he's supposed to do, and try to shove the 68 to the outside and get him out of the draft. And unfortunately, they make that contact.
And again, Crafton narrowly missed that incident.
That's a broken record.
Yeah, you know what Crafton's thinking? I don't know how I'm going to pass these guys unless they all just crash.
And he keeps moving up as each crash occurs.
And that's exactly what just happened. Now he finds himself up in 4th. He's going to restart on the outside of the 2nd row as a pusher.
Wow.
And what a good truck he's going to be behind, too. Austin Hill's up there. Ben Rhodes. Neither one of those trucks have any damage, nor does Crafton. That could be the key, Phil. He could push Rhodes to the win.
Remember now, that's as far away from the spotters as we
going to fall.
He can't get the momentum back. Matt Crafton needs a lot of help here.
Oh, Austin Hill getting into Ben Rhodes. And now Gus Dean coming around the outside. Contact, and Dean is going to take out Rhodes. And Crafton gets through again somehow, and so many more involved in this incident.
What about Matt Crafton's move? Look at that truck.
Look at the damage on those other 2 trucks right beside. Austin Hill was able to do a great job. Got down on the apron and got through that.
The track record 10th caution of the night, and Sheldon Creed this time is going to be finished for the night.
You were right, Michael. There wasn't 3 or 4 laps to go.
No, it happened. There was a move here by Austin Hill to get to the bottom. Rhodes blocked it, and that just stacked him up behind, Phil.
Yep.
You could see Shelton Creed did a perfect job. He was to the outside of Dean. Dean blocked. And look at Crafton in the yellow truck, sneaking by all that on the high side.
How did he avoid the sliding up to the wall 17 of David Gilliland?
That block right there that Dean threw on Creed started it. It was just too late.
Just got him a little bit loose there. Caught the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Watch the 17. Barely avoids hitting the 88 of Matt Crafton.
And we mentioned every time there's a caution, Crafton just moves up another spot or 2, and he has done that again.
Watch this block here by Dean. Right there, moves up in front of Creed. Creed still had some room to go higher, but stood his ground, and it turned Dean around.
And how does Crafton... Oh, he does take a little bit of contact. Very little, but... so he's going to probably have a little bit of left front damage, but considering what everybody else has got on their trucks, it's going to be minimal.
Vince, I think he might have gotten to the outside wall as well. Yeah, Ben Rhodes just along for the ride, out in the lead, a truck length and a half, clear of the 2nd place truck. There was a little bit of contact to the outside wall for the 88 of Crafton. You see Joe Nemechek slide now.
And gets in behind Hill now.
Those are teammates up on the high side. Timothy Peters, Ross Chastain.
Contact and another crash, and this one involves Gerhardt in the 63. And the caution is back out.
Oh, man.
Hold on to it. Hold the brake. Hold the brake.
Hop off, knowing there's so few trucks in the race.
Boyd, by the way,
A loose wheel, possibly a tire that didn't balance properly and it just got worse. Joey, you know that any vibration when you're in a pack like this, especially when you're a rookie. Oh, there it goes.
In the middle.
Oh, no. Lost away himself and upside down is the 45 of Majeski.
Let's hope he gets back on his tires here.
That thing's square on the roof. What a shame.
Ty Majeski and his truck comes to a stop.
You just know with all that movement.
As we go back to the highlights.
A push is probably the beginning, and yes, there it is. Todd Gillen in back of the...
That's Fogelman in the 0-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, man, he just... Majeski just turned sideways down the front, and it just tipped right over. NASCAR does so much work in the wind tunnel to have flaps, air flaps, different panels on the truck that blow away that is supposed to prevent that. But
bumping through the tri-oval here is the sketchiest place to do it. And you see that big set that you saw that white truck make right there. He needed room to save it. And you try to do everything you can to not run into other cars. You try to do everything you can to keep your truck going straight. And unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time for Ty.
9 trucks involved.
There's the push. And push in the trial was just not the ideal place this time of the race especially, but it's hard to make it work through there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just not the spot to do it. And these are some of the mistakes that will be made throughout this race. As these drivers have more and more experience, they realize, hey, don't touch each other going through that tri-oval. It is a decent turn, and it doesn't have the banking that turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 have. It's quite a bit flatter, so the car's not compressed into the racetrack, loaded like you really want it to. It's an uneasy feeling, especially when someone's tagging you in the back bumper. Although he didn't do it in a malicious way, he was doing it trying to move his lane forward and trying to, ultimately gain some stage points. But unfortunately, some cars are more stable in those spots than others, and some lessons learned the hard way here.
Yeah, really hard for Ty Majeski. Todd Gillen will go on to race, but learn a valuable lesson. A couple of guys made some amazing moves to get low on the racetrack and miss this mess. How about those beautiful pictures from our Fox Sports cameramen, women, just doing an amazing job showing the folks at home the violence.
40 and back towards the front for now. They fall in danger of losing a spot in the top 5 as they race side by side. Rohrbaugh spins off turn number 4. May have had contact with a truck behind him. Slides down across the apron, straightens it out, keeps it out of the wall.
No caution. But he didn't hit anything. But you remember a minute ago when Johnny Sauter wandered up the hill? That's what happened to Rohrbaugh. You just maybe clip the yellow line, the truck wants to go up, you crank it to the left, and around it goes.
Well, that and also that outside car gets closer to your door, and when that side force goes over, hiding in the draft, that truck might go all right, but as he pulls out into clean air like that, it's not the most efficient car.
Angela Ruck is around and into the wall hard. Christian Eckes gets a piece of it.
Hold the wheel straight. Hold the wheel straight.
Tate Fogelman, part of it.
That's a lot of fire.
And the 28 of Doza. Brett Moffitt, there's the 23, the former champ.
I just think as these tires get a little wear on them and they heat up.
Back out there.
Keep an eye on the 00 of Angela Ruck.
Yeah,
a little contact with Derek Kraus, and that got it going.
She tried to squeeze in a tight position there, and wasn't quite enough room for her to do it effectively. Doza bounces off her, and then
look at the fire coming out of the 02. And the 28 ran right in the back of her. I don't know what that's about, but you don't know what happened. If it knocked the carburetor off, as the fuel just gets on the headers, and boy, that's a big fire.
Several vehicles taking contact and varying degrees of damage. Certainly
Corbin Forrester slipping by.
And does anyone find this ironic that on the 28 is the fire department?
Looked like he's in a hurry to get there.
He was.
That's a pretty tough break for Tate Fogelman.
Watch in this sequence the 88 of Matt Crafton. How does he get through?
Guns it.
Oh, so tight.
Yeah, experienced move by Matt Crafton, seeing the crash happening and assuming and guessing which direction it's going to go. And sometimes the best way through these things is not lifting and hitting the brakes. You got to get through it. And he drove his car right through it. And there comes the fire truck.
But it isn't over.
I feel like this race is out of control. I don't know what you're thinking.
Rhodes and and there goes Rhodes. Contact.
Big right, come on, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down. Go straight, man. Come on straight, keep coming straight, keep coming straight. Get off them.
So many involved. Jesse Little, the 97 around, the 13 of Johnny Sauter in it as well. Sheldon Creed. There's Tyler Ankrum in the 26 and Ben Rhodes. And watch it. This is how it started.
Ben Rhodes from the bumper of Johnny Sauter, but you don't know. He might have been sideways already. Just these guys were just so close and pushing so hard.
Yeah, you're pushing 3 wide. And as we can tell over and over again, when a car gets to another back bumper, they just become unstable. And yeah, it's a bad spot for the 99 of Ben Rhodes to be in. He had the 98 door-to-door with him, which is the most unstable your car is going to be. And then a push comes behind you.
Play here as he makes it through as well. That's what you call cool under fire right there. Backed off the gas was why Johnny hit him.
Could be right.
Todd Gilliland in that 38. He's had such a strong truck tonight. Here's the 51 of Riley Herbst.
Look at the move by Hill in the 16, right around the outside of Herbst.
So many involved in those at the last second.
Another great move by the black truck here. This is Corbin Forrester on the bottom, about to the outside wall, and just squeezed through that hole. Great driving.
Anderson swings outside.
He's going to get him.
Jordan Anderson. And Grant Enfinger. And it's going to be Enfinger. And it's the 100th win for Ford.
I could have sworn when Jordan Anderson got to the outside.
Have won from the pole, none since Kaz Gralla in 2017. Let's see if Sauter can get it done. We're racing at Daytona. And we've got contact already. Didn't even get to the start-finish line before some vehicles got tangled up, including, oh, what a heartbreaker for the 44. They had so much expectation tonight. James Busher.
He started last, Vince, and yet
happened all the way in the back.
Yeah, there's that Tanner Gray in the 15. You can see he didn't go. Where's that?
Derek Kraus, the 19, I think, is involved in that as well. Something with the 15 having an initial problem. Tanner Gray didn't get going.
And, you know, there's just no way for those drivers to see through the other trucks. Joe Cobb on the bottom does a nice job.
Of James Busher.
That's a hard one to figure, Vince. And, Jamie, what do you see there? The wreck was well behind when Gray had problems, and most of the trucks around him got by. You'd think they would have had issues.
Yeah, and we got a report that Tanner knew he had an issue coming to the green, and it was
a series of shocking events for this team.
Got some contact on track on the first lap of the race, then some contact on pit road.
Look at that view. That's a great camera shot.
He's drifting and mowing the grass.
That left rear tire was cut down.
This is how it began.
See the 19 truck on the right outside, middle of the screen. There it goes, I think.
Yeah,
maybe you see
it already starting to wiggle, and he knows that. It makes a great save right here not to get into the outside wall, and also everyone else did a great job around him not to get into him.
That's David Gilliland at Caution is out, and again it's the 19 of Derek Kraus.
also the 40.
Ryan Truex
involved was
for Derek. It looks like he cut a tire down again.
Yeah.
You know, once you get the damage, it's hard to keep all the tires clearance. You also don't know if a crush panel, something's fallen off, and then you're running over it. But that's two what appears to be left rear tires. It looks like the right rear actually is cut down this time.
Yeah, I think it got the right rear, but it wasn't significant. Well, it's pretty significant. But what all he's been through, I think he can still run on.
There you see Truex sliding through the picture.
I think he got bumped from behind, Vince.
Well, I would agree.
Yeah, and he's going to be okay. It doesn't look like he has any body damage at all from the flat. If you're going to have flat tires, it's a great place to have it because you're so close to pit road. I'm feeling like that father-son bond is probably going to be a little better than any teammate we have.
Oh, and that's the 3 of Jordan Anderson that has gone around. Contact with the wall, and the 22 of Austin Wayne Self involved.
Strong run for Self. I don't think it'll do either one of these two in tomorrow in the Xfinity race. He hopes.
Now we're getting close on.
Oh, is that a bump draft gone bad there, Jamie? Looks
I'm gonna have another angle of that. I couldn't tell what happened.
Friesen was involved in that. Surprisingly, Derek Kraus wasn't.
He's gone to the garage. Kraus has gone to the garage.
Incredible.
Back to green at Daytona with 36 to go. That's Brian Doza in the 28. And Tyler Ankrum squeezing past him as Doza goes to the bottom, and Ankrum maybe got a bump in the back end from the 38 of Gilliland, and he's going to keep it. Almost contact, but was able to keep it clean.
Ankrum got lucky right there.
Yeah, and Sheldon Creed got involved as well into the 33
He's
truck
still wrecking.
Of Jason White
from Canada.
And Creed suffering some damage. Doesn't give a pop to the 26 of Ankrum here.
Yeah, he's trying to push him on through, and Ankrum's bobbing and weaving, and here comes Gilliland, I think right there.
Yep.
Yeah, Ankrum's truck was already light in the back. It didn't look like Todd hit him very hard there, but when you're in the middle, most vulnerable, and he's so lucky right there that he didn't get collected.
Yeah, because Sheldon wasn't driving through there.
Yeah, Sheldon slowed down, and Jason, it looked like, got into him, and they couldn't stop.
Ankrum was wasting no time on this restart.
Well,
squeezing
you can't.
Past Doza, absolutely.
John Hunter off. Did a nice job of preparing for what might happen.
And there was David Gilliland.
Yeah.
Coming to pit road under this caution. Coming back for the restart at Daytona. 3 wide.
Oh, and Moffitt's looking to make it 4. Oh, that is not good. There's 4 wide. I knew it would happen.
Truck's not stable, and that's going to send Gilliland around, and big wreck.
That is
big damage to Gilliland and Stuart Friesen.
I mean, that's just 4 wide, Jamie.
Tate Fogelman in the 12 took big damage there as well. Oh, what a tough finish for Todd Gilliland.
Vince, I've been 4 wide at Daytona before, but it was an accident. It did an accident, but they were pushing to be 4 wide on purpose.
You see, Todd Gilliland was kind of indecisive there. He didn't go to the second lane, and he didn't go up and block that outside lane, and that's what put them 4 wide. You get in that position, and you're waiting on your spotter to clear you one way or the other, and if the spotter's not 100% sure.
Watch right here. Gilliland's okay. Maybe. Oh,
it looked like he had a little help from behind, actually, that shot him up.
That'll make you lose the front end of your truck.
Yeah. It's amazing. Only 3 vehicles took significant damage. Not too heavy a damage there.
Saw Moffitt bounce off the wall in this wreck, but I haven't seen him come to pit road yet. See right there, Moffitt.
Yep.
Maybe just minor damage.
Yeah, it didn't look like he hit that hard.
Right.
Didn't see any tire marks after he hit the wall.
Heartbreaker for Todd Gilliland in that 38, and Stuart Friesen as well. Of course, Tate Fogelman in the 12.
Look at the destruction. This is what happens when things go wrong at 180 miles an hour.
Michael, I don't know about you, but I always shut my eyes right here. Like, I didn't ever want to see all those sparks and everything that was happening.
Thank goodness our camera guys aren't shutting their eyes when all that's going on and missing these great shots.
They're
terrific work,
shots.
guys.
They're awesome. The pictures and the sounds. Fox Sports brings the NASCAR fans. This is incredible. Look at that speedy drive. Matt Crafton with a big push down the back.
Haley Deegan. Contact.
She can start that thing going, yeah. Just get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Get out of my way.
You're going to look at how much damage she's got to the front end of that truck. And
yeah, she got a little more damage than I thought she was going to have there, Michael. It didn't, you know, ride on in with her. It didn't look like she hit that hard, but it's a little more damage.
Pretty significant there. Can tell how it started. Oh, way in the back.
Yeah, really hard to see what happened there.
How difficult is it to see when you go through that speedy drive? I mean, from
I think
our
it's
perspective,
worse.
it looks like it's really difficult.
I think it's worse from the perspective we see here on TV, but definitely it's hard to see through that. But you got to remember, it's only 2 or 3 seconds, and you're essentially going straight. If nothing happens in front of you, see her, it has a pretty big impact she had on that inside wall.
She had an onboard camera. We get a look at how difficult it is to see. Here you go. That wasn't an issue at all.
I don't know if someone got into the back of her.
I think the trucks around her, maybe Jordan Anderson saw all the speedy drive and maybe backed out of the throttle, and she
tried to get in front of Timothy Peters on the inside.
Look at that mess, Jamie, how tight you are packed.
There's Moffitt going around.
Moffitt was running 24th. I don't know how that could have happened. It's been a tough race for him.
Still green, and you spots.
Timothy Peters hops up behind Ben Rhodes and gives a nice push. Now the 18 smoking too.
Wow, Infinger hanging on to this one despite some smoke. And now Chandler Smith has gone around. He was up fighting for the lead. Gathers it up without hitting anything, but
yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a caution.
Green is still out.
Stay green here.
Still racing. And now they're crashing. Timothy Peters involved. Tyler Ankrum has taken a big hit. Wow. John Hunter Nemechek. Several contenders. Heck, Timothy Peters and Chandler Smith. Ambulance for the trip to the Advent Healthcare Center.
It's going to be busy over there.
The cockpit up with smoke.
Oh, Timothy Peters trying to get in a hole that's not there.
Yeah, Drew Dollar in the 51 didn't have anywhere to go.
No, that was not Drew Dollar's fault. To see if he survives this little conflict, and then Peters right back up into traffic. How much damage does Johnny Sauter get?
Clip Sauter there in the left rear.
Carson Hocevar.
A lot of innocent victims.
You know, we hear it all the time. When you want to make a move, you just have to be so aggressive. Because if you ease down like you see Timothy Peters there, that gap gets filled up, and it's, you know, it's 4 laps to go right now. No one's going to give you any room or let off at this point.
That's just trying to close a hole that was already occupied.
Yeah.
Several of those drivers just had absolutely nowhere to go.
John Hunter looks like not major damage.
Now, his didn't look too bad, at least on the right side that I saw.
Look at the hands.
Gosh, it gets violent in a hurry, doesn't it, Jamie?
Yeah,
you hear that?
I everybody.
There's nothing the 51 truck could do.
No, absolutely not.
And he does a nice job after the contact. Watch him. He keeps that truck pointed in the right direction.
See Austin Hill get turned into the wall right there.
Look at the two truck of Sheldon Creed and Matt Kraft, and they've been involved in about everything tonight, but just keep on making their way through the messes.
Contact in the 22 of Austin Wayne, Self going around. We stay green on the final lap at Daytona.
Ben Rhodes is backed up. He's going to get a little bit of a run right here on him. Here comes his teammate.
The Texan, trying to hold on, 43 years old. Oh, big crash, and Ben Rhodes going around the outside and across the line.
Jordan Anderson with a huge run.
But it's Ben Rhodes, the winner. Wow.
That's crazy what happens on the last lap here.
Yes, Vince. Wow. We talked about how aggressive that young man was. Ben Rhodes mentioned he finished second here a year ago. Did Jordan Anderson?
There is the move as he gets down to the bottom.
Had to spin a guy out of the way.
Yeah, that's what got Austin Wayne Self going the other direction.
I'm just going to need to get over to the left a bit. Sorry.
Excuse me.
But watch this move.
Well, Crafton really gave himself up there for the block of the 21. And Jordan Anderson, I'll tell you, Mike, if they'd had another 10 feet, he might have won this thing.
You got that right. Look at how fast he was going. Great move by Jordan. Ben Rhodes, Roper.
Corey Roper, when they came around, I thought Corey Roper was going to win the race.
I did too. I thought he made a great decision. Initially, I thought he was just going to push Sheldon Creed for that whole last lap, but when he ducked to the inside and then everybody lined up behind him, I thought he was going to be hard to beat.
What about Carson Hocevar? He comes across in the 5th position in that 42 truck. And he's been in 2 or 3 wrecks.
Yep, Ryan Truex, we haven't talked much about tonight. He just bided his time, and he ends up with a top 5 finish. Well done.
What a crazy last lap. That's fun to watch.
Let's ride with the 98 of Grant Enfinger.
I'm not a big fan of watching all the trucks wreck, but it is fun to watch all the moves that they're made, and Jordan Anderson coming from 11th or 12th. I'm telling you, I thought this was the truck that was going to win. He had such a massive run, but then he gets clipped right there by Chandler Smith. And
he hasn't lifted yet, though.
He hasn't, because he can see the finish line. I think we've all done that at some point.
The pack, so then we'll lead it for about 2 or 3 laps here.
Exactly what we were talking about. That's the plan.
And you know what? Uh-oh. Something happened to her truck.
Right in front, right? Something happened in front of them.
Caution.
Oh, debris.
Good eye. Good eye. Holy cow.
So
That's
heavy
Jason,
contact along the front straightaway.
Jason Kitzmiller right there. He, we've seen him in the last couple of ARCA races down here.
The start-finish line. In a draft there, this was his 2nd lap, Phil, that he was just getting to make, and it just, something broke in the back of the truck, it looks like. Maybe, would you think maybe a track bar mount or something?
Something like that, yeah.
In the rear end?
Yeah, looked like it. He got down on the painted double yellow line, but I don't think that should have been enough to turn that thing around.
It wobbled him over that way. Yeah. And then watch this pack of trucks coming at him. And debris.
And John Hunter Nemechek in that 4. Oh, and there's another one that has gone around, and that is the 32 of Brett Holmes.
Well, that's lucky when you spin at Daytona and don't have any damage to your truck.
He sounded surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a flat tire.
Yeah.
He was holding a nice steady wheel.
Behind you. Watch him coming back down.
Remember, these trucks, he essentially was by himself.
Start at Daytona. Attention getter right out of the gate. Certainly some putting some tires on, and the 4 of Nemechek getting gas only. Josh.
Well, the 18 of Chandler Smith said he was dealing with a little bit loose in that truck. Thompson.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a lot of contact.
That was a huge hit.
I bet he has to come back to pit road. That's what you have when you have differing strategies. Guys that are just gassing out while the others are in pit road.
Yeah, that is more than a little bit of contact.
Well here, Jamie.
Well, for Christian Eckes, I love the communication between he and his crew chief, Jared Fred. Jared said, is there anything we can do to help you? And Christian said, honestly, no. This truck feels pretty good. They're giving him 4 new tires. They got a fresh tear off on there, send him out on his way. He was a little upset with his teammate, though. Ben Rhodes, that 99. I'm going to watch for them in this final stage.
Now you see Brett Holmes having some problems in that 32 truck.
Rotor. I think he's got. Watch him. He's accelerating out. This thing just snaps around on him. And now look at the left front if it does circle back around.
If you wonder how much power these trucks have, you can just spin them right around if you aren't careful.
Yeah, look, I think the left front's locked up. Everybody's just kind of riding right now.
Well, the 38's got to like where he's riding. He is currently sitting P2.
Oh, trouble in the backstretch.
It is. There's one around in heavy wall contact, and that's the 24 of Jack Wood.
There's something broke.
Yeah, that's a weird spot to be in to have trouble.
Yeah, I'm fine. The thing just came around on me. It was getting really bad.
And here on the backstretch off turn 2, he is tailed off to the back of everybody, and something broke on that truck.
Yeah.
An awkward angle that it just turned on him.
Impact into the outside wall.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. One here in the truck in 2019.
Got one with
definite contact, a couple of them. That was
White?
Fogelman again.
Man, those guys just had nowhere to go. They were trying to dodge Fogelman.
Yep, Chris Wright in the 44. Fogelman drives
let me do the telestrator thing. Oh, yeah, never mind. You guys see it. But, yeah, he was definitely struggling with right rear, not having enough pressure in there.
Oh, and just a mess after that.
Jason White took some contact there as well.
Not too bad. Yeah, it's a yellow. There's a little bit of damage, but not the big one. That's good news.
You wouldn't suggest, would you, that we were going to go through this race without the big one?
I would not suggest that. Wide off 4 with that lap truck up high.
This is coming to the white flag. We've got trucks everywhere.
Eckes continuing to lead. Ankrum taking a look outside. Eckes comes up the block. The white flag is out, and now the yellow.
Is that going to be the race because the white came out?
Yes, I think it's a race. I believe that Zane Smith is going to be the winner.
The white flag did come out. He waved, the flagman waved the white with his right hand, and then the yellow came out immediately thereafter with the left hand.
And Zane Smith was the 4th place truck as they were exiting turn 4. So we're hearing they did not take the white.
Eckes leading, and I watch Ankrum get to the outside, and Eckes moves up, and just a little bit of contact right there.
And that was John Hunter Nemechek trying to make a move, and he was pushing him and got him sideways, and then the Klingerman ended up flinging the 4 truck. And after that, you're along for the ride.
Yes, you are. Just fate will sometimes spin you through it without damage, but not a lot a driver can do when they pile up like that. This is just a big block.
Keep an eye on the 4 truck and the momentum that him and Klingerman have, and it's hard to extinguish it, and it's like, boom, there you get hit again, and then Klingerman ends up hitting the 4 truck.
Boy, and the 38 of Zane Smith just slipped right through there.
Sure did.
But the caution had been triggered in race control prior to that move, and that means we're going to go overtime as the white flag is determined to have not waved prior to the yellow being triggered. You see the white flag waving there, but
that didn't count.
Well, it was waving, but I believe that they never got to the line, and then NASCAR hit the button for the yellow lights to come on.
And that's official. The flagman is for show. He's just throwing that white flag so the fans can see it's on.
Yep. And the trucks all have transponders, and none of them got to the line before the yellow button was triggered.
That push that Ankrum got, he just couldn't hold the truck straight. He got a little sideways, and that started it.
Well, some good trucks taking some heavy damage there. The 18 of Chandler Smith.
Yeah, I was hopeful for an onboard. So this is with Riley. Let's just ride along.
Right here at the line. Still there. Reckon, backing down. Big wreck, backing down. One behind you. Go low. Inside. All right, straighten it up. Stay left if you can. I know we got a lot of hits going.
Yeah, not many options there. Still rolling. Now we're on board the 99.
Yep.
98 back in front of you, coming to 2 to go. You turn. You're off, clear off.
You ever had that view, Mikey, where you just clear a wreck and you look in the mirror and you're like, those four have broken away. It'll be interesting to see if anything can generate on the outside lane.
Final lap into the wall. Green still out, and now we go caution. And it is Zane Smith, who was so close to winning it in regulation. This time he does indeed get it done.
This is where the wreck ended up unfolding back with this group.
Oh, Jason White slides up and gets...
Again, the 44 of Chris Wright. I mean, White and Wright have gotten together a couple of times tonight. There's the 33 of Jason White and the 44 of Chris Wright.
There might have been some oil coming out of the 42 of Hocevar that helped him change lanes like that. But again, the trial was a tough spot to be 3 wide.
Well, and with the accident taking place where it did, it, you know, if you ask, well, why wouldn't they let them race all the way back to the green? A lot of debris put down on track there before they could have come back to the checkers.
Inside. Low, come on, low.
Got him sideways once. He got down, corrects, moves up, hooks it in the right rear, and turns.
And here comes Keselowski. Right headed straight for Kyle Busch and misses him by inches. Not everybody was so lucky.
And that's not because Daniel's trying to move the 8 car. That's literally, this is a game on the restrictor plate track of inches of guys just.
Hey, keep an eye on that 9 truck just behind our leader, Tyler Ankrum. Colby Howard has been bouncing around a lot.
Oh, Daniel dies around.
And the caution is out. This will be our 4th one of the night. First one for incident.
Clay Greenfield, the 84 truck is involved. This looked like Haley Deegan, the 13, got a piece of that. That's Dean Thompson in the 5. We saw fire out from under the back of that truck.
Greenfield was a big mover. He had driven all the way from the back of the pack up to 11th at the end of that first stage. See what happens to Clay, because right behind him is Daniel Dye, and Daniel was involved. Oh, Clay just gets loose.
Yeah, he kind of got squeezed a little bit in the middle, got loose. And all these other trucks just a victim of circumstances.
Daniel Dye almost got through there.
And you talked, Phil, about, we talked just a bit ago about the tri-oval not being as banked as much as the corner. It's easy to get loose through there. And that's exactly what happened to Greenfield.
Looked like Clay moved up the racetrack just a little bit and maybe made some slight contact with a truck on the outside, and then looks like he may have lost control. And these other trucks with nowhere to go. There's Haley Deegan, the 13, the 5 of Dean Thompson, and the Rackley truck of DiBenedetto.
You think about those drivers and teams that elected not to pit at the end of stage 1, gain that track position. This is the kind of mess you can avoid when you establish a position at the front. We know accidents can happen anywhere here.
From first and second, they can. Yeah.
But when you're up there, you minimize the chances of getting involved in something like this.
A couple of trucks back. Here's Daniel Dye looking on. There goes Greenfield.
Yeah, he was going to be fine. Clay came up the racetrack and clipped him in the left rear corner.
I don't believe his night's over, though, Phil.
No, I don't think so. He has a flat tire. Obviously, we saw that, but he'll get in there. They'll get that changed and maybe tune up the slight body damage a little bit and be back in contention.
What about that mess? Golly, so many good trucks involved. One truck that wasn't involved, that was Tanner Gray. Watch the move Tanner Gray makes when we get another look at this thing. He's the white truck on the inside of Clay Greenfield.
Tight they are on that outside line.
I can't stand it, Phil. This is crazy.
Oh, no! And there goes Stuart Friesen. Contact into the wall.
And there's more trucks involved.
Caution is out. 5th one of the night. That will end the stage.
That's Brett Holmes, the 32 on the inside grass. The 9 of Colby Howard around.
Howard did a great job of not having that truck snap all the way around on him and into the outside wall, hung on to it. As the outside lane had a run. Is that what took place here?
tried to block the run.
Yeah, moved up, and the 99 of Ben Rhodes was getting pushed by the 19 of Christian Eckes, so he could not hit the brakes to avoid the 52 of Stuart Friesen.
Yeah, I think that was a case of a block. See the move right there.
Yeah, and again, the 19, the second blue and white truck behind Ben Rhodes, is pushing him.
Look how lucky the 19 truck got, having a hole to squeeze through there. And the veteran Matt Crafton up there battling with these kids, making it happen. Crafton third in that stage. Watch the 9. He looks like he's going the outside wall. No, let's go to the infield. Looks safer down there. Slipping and sliding, but he makes it through.
Blue Grand Infigure narrowly avoiding it in the 23 black and yellow truck.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
How about the perspective of Ben Rhodes?
This is how it all started.
Tight, push it. Got the 23 out back, half off him. Push it. Come on, baby, let's go. Push it.
You heard his spotter tell him the whole time he was being pushed from behind.
Rhodes got damaged, but overall, I think it worked out okay for him. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage to the front of that truck, it looks like here, Adam. Look at the hood.
Yeah.
All buckled up. See, there's the Grand Infigure getting by with that 23 truck. Jack Wood, the 51, getting by. And 3 or 4 of those trucks right behind Jack Wood are all involved in this.
He's going to school tonight as well and trying to put himself in position to win. And things are getting dicey. Here comes Carruth up the middle. And look who's pushing him.
Oh no. Oh.
And there goes Carruth. Benedetto involved. Infinger is there. Daniel Dye and many others.
I didn't like going up the middle. You know, it's just so risky. Sometimes you don't have a choice, though. You got such a run. You got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That was certainly a decision that didn't work out.
Ty Majeski might have been really the only other truck.
He got pushed from behind by the 99 of Ben Rhodes. He did not.
Just closed the door there. Zane came down a bit, and Raja was committed. And that started the melee.
Takes 2 of the GMS trucks. The 43 of Daniel Dye and the 24 of Raja. Almost got the 23 of Grant Infigure. Look at Grant there in the yellow and black truck on the inside, right behind De Benedetto and Raja. Is he going to avoid it altogether?
Wow. I thought maybe he got a little. I don't think he got any at all.
I don't either.
That was incredible. Hop on with Daniel Dye again in the 43 truck. See what he sees.
Watch here, check up, right front, check up. Get it, easy. Outside, hand on it. 4 in.
Watch the 98 of Ty Majeski here.
And what about Matt Crafton and Chase Elliott?
A wild ride. So he's getting the side draft, thinks he has a chance to win this race, and then lots of pushing and shoving. 20 gets turned into the fence, and then 2-car goes for a ride.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing pictures.
And right behind him, Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champion in that bright yellow. And there goes Crafton. And we've got a crash. Gray around, the same for Sanchez.
Stuart Friesen in it.
Ty Dillon in the 25.
Dillon into the outside wall in hard contact with that Moffitt. Raja.
6 laps
in the blue Napa truck right behind Crafton. Just turned him a little bit sideways. Lane Riggs, look at that job he's doing.
Yeah, then he got into the 15. Crafton got into the 15 of Tanner Gray. There's Ty Dillon getting into the outside wall of red and white. I mean, white and blue truck, excuse me.
You see, Crafton was about a half truck length up high on the back of Tanner Gray.
Tough break for Stuart Friesen there at the 52 Halmar truck.
Wow. Look at that dirt. Wow.
And we saw him right behind Jake Garcia.
There goes the right rear tire.
Yeah.
On the 33 truck. He just spins around.
See if we can see some debris coming off that truck. Looks maybe the splitter apparatus off the front of that truck.
Back down, not clear, and he's going to go in the wrong direction. Caution is out. 6th of the night. That's the 27. That's Keith McGee.
Already made contact, it looks like, with a wall. He's going to end up in the grass in the tri-oval.
Wow. That's a hard hit, Phil.
Yeah, and so many times, and we saw it earlier, when you have some damage from a previous wreck, you're going to get tire rubs and flat tires.
See if we can see Keith hit. Wow, something just broke on that truck.
Had Greg on the right front of that truck and just turned him straight into the outside. Fortunately, safer barrier.
Yeah.
Is Bailey Curry going to come up and give him a bump? That 41 truck.
No, I think he just got loose.
Just got loose, and Bailey Curry goes around as well. Bailey's going to get into the inside safer barrier. Brett Holmes keeps his truck out of the safer barrier. Just got loose up off the corner.
We've seen it repeatedly, and maybe that.
Coming too fast, I was not going to block it. I just want to ride on the bottom. It's only lap 71.
Is that Rhodes again?
Yeah.
That's him losing his lap. Oh, he's going to crash.
There goes Ben Rhodes.
I don't know about that move.
Caution is out. 8th one of the night.
You talked about him. He was getting lapped, and he was in the middle of all those trucks.
You know, he's probably wanting to catch the draft. I don't know what happened, but tire, he says, popped. Yeah, it went.
Yeah, it's gone now, and he's doing all he can do.
Pretty remarkable.
To try to keep that.
That he's hanging on to it right here.
And eventually.
Look at it turn sideways. And then he catches Tanner Gray in the 15 truck.
Luckily, no more trucks were involved than were.
Sure could have been.
Now we ride on board with Ben Rhodes.
Looks like Tony Breitinger had a little bit of contact as well.
She got damaged. We mentioned Tanner Gray.
Jack Wood behind him. Corey LaJoie up top.
Trying to get back. It's a push, and he's going to push
there
it sideways.
There goes around.
Right.
Into Parsons. Johnny Sauter gets a piece. And other drivers scattering to miss the accident. Caution number 9.
Man. What a mess. Rolled out of the gas and just kept his truck pointed straight.
Boyd Steffen was absolutely in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of damage to that ballpark Chevrolet.
How many drivers have said that over the years racing at Daytona? Wrong place, wrong time.
Does a heck of a job hanging on to it after that Connie.
19 to go. Sanchez, Taylor Gray, LaJoie, Purdy, and Wood. The top 5 under caution.
This is so aggressive.
Got trouble again. Tony Breitinger in the 1. The 5 is Dean Thompson. Teammates at Tricon. It produces our 10th caution of the night.
Ooh, just kisses the inside safer barrier.
Closing on 10 laps remaining. Under caution one more time for the trucks at Daytona.
See what he can do now. Give him a push on the back. Oh, there
Tyler
goes the
Ingram
truck.
out of shape. Caution is out. Contact with Purdy. Eckes gets a piece as well.
We've seen how loose that truck's been all night. Chase Purdy with big damage there on the 77 Bama Buggies truck.
11th caution of the night matches the track record.
This is ugly.
Going to get another look at it here. It's amazing no more trucks were involved than there were, guys.
I was going to say, you know, it's Ankrum that gets shoved out of line and collects some others, but they're all just...
Turns aside. He's doing all he can do to control that truck, and it just gets away from him. And he turns down into chase. Timmy Hill does a nice job avoiding that, just going through the grass. Christian makes contact with Ankrum.
Look at that off-roading that Timmy Hill's doing through the infield grass, jumping up in the air.
We saw Grant Sanchez will try to work both. Oh, trouble!
And there's a crash. Caution is out. The race is over. Trucks up in the air. Nick Sanchez leading when the caution flag came out. Unbelievable impact.
See, like, I mean, I've never avoided so many wrecks in my life. I can't believe I have a clean truck. But I'm not going to complain about it. It's truck racing. It happens. But super proud of Truck on Garage and Toyota Racing. Got a little bit of work to do for Talladega with the speed of this thing. But I thought the best strategy for me was to lay low and hopefully be there at the end. And we were. And looks like we came up one short.
That is scary looking.
It's just amazing.
But like you said, that's about as soft as you can turn one over.
That's exactly right. And it didn't just keep tumbling either, like we've seen happen so many times. I don't know if Raja just lost the front end of his number 71 Chevy or what went down there, but he definitely went up the track and made contact. Look at that mess. Phil, did you see Stefan sliding through there anywhere?
He did get through there, yes.
Watch this, just out of nowhere. Smoke, smoke. Truck. Now,
watch it hit the roof.